teams have proven that they can stand adversity. Now it's going to be important to see which of the two teams can stand a little prosperity. And I think it'll be a little bit more difficult for the St. Louis Cardinals because they've won 3 big games against 3 very good teams, and it's going to be very important for them to be able to maintain that same high emotional intensity level and a performance level that they've been used to the last 3 weeks. That's the big test for them.
And, Hank, they've been doing it with the big play on offense so far this year.
They have been, but I think they have to change their personality a little bit this afternoon because the last 3 teams they played a lot of man-for-man defense, and it's conducive to a big play kind of offense. The Eagles, on the other hand, use a lot of zone defenses. They have to travel slow, they have to be patient, and they have to run the ball, I think, more than they have in the past, and run it successfully. They have 2 great running backs in Otis Anderson and Stump Mitchell, and they have to get a lot of business this afternoon.
Well, Hank, if the Cardinals have to be patient today, do you think the same thing applies to the Eagles?
No, the Eagles are just the opposite. I think the only chance the Eagles have of winning this game this afternoon is for them to throw the ball successfully. They do it remarkably well. They have a great quarterback in yet Ron Jaworski, and also a lightning guy in Mike Quick, both of whom are terrific players and capable of making the big plays, but they have to throw the ball to win this afternoon.
Thank you, Hank. And the Cardinals have won the toss. The meteorologists would say this is an unseasonably warm day. I would say so. 78 degrees. It is warmer than that on the field on the artificial turf, and we are in the last weekend of October, and you'd think it was August. Paul McFadden, the outstanding rookie kicker, will boot it for the Philadelphia Eagles. Stump Mitchell leads the NFC in kickoff returns. Willard Harrell and Randy Love are also back there. So, Cardinals at 5-3, receiving the kickoff from the 4-4 Eagles, and Stump Mitchell running it up to the 25 and gets it out to the 32-yard line. 1st and 10. The offense for the Cardinals, Neil Lomax ranks 2nd to Joe Montana in the NFC. Otis Anderson is big running back. Earl Ferrell the blocker. Roy Green and Pat Tilley outside. Doug Marsh is the tight end, and the offensive line, Sharp, Steve, Clark, Bostic, and Robbins. They have been healthy and effective this year.
I think the Cardinals will start the game running the football. We might see them try to run to their left on the very first play of the game. Let's see what they decide to do.
Here's Anderson going left, as Hank said, and Jerry Robinson puts a collar around Anderson, but not until he gets out to the 37-yard line, a gain of 5. Looking now at the Eagles' defense, and that's been one of the reasons why they've won 3 in a row. Good pass rush from Dennis Harrison and Greg Brown. Ken Clark has been outstanding at nose tackle. The linebackers, Wilkes and Williams outside, Robinson and Griggs to handle the run inside, and the secondary, Elbert Fowles and Herman Edwards, the cornerbacks, Ray Ellis and Wes Hopkins, outstanding hitters at safety. 2nd down and 5. Here's Anderson. He was looking behind for help as he was trapped at the 38-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 yards for the Cardinals. A tackle by Anthony Griggs.
You know, the Eagle defense has really been very successful. They're 7th in total defense, 9 against the run, 6 against the pass, and they've only given up 18 points per game. The only problem is they've only made 17 points a game, and that's why they are in the situation they're in now, but they're even at 4-4.
And somehow defense can turn things around for you, and we saw that with the Cardinals last week against the Redskins.
Yeah, they believe very strongly in what they're doing defensively.
Cedric Mack, who was activated this week, the converted defensive back, is in there. Out of the shotgun, Lomax, 3rd down, and Tilley can't hold on to it. Talking about a hard-hitting secondary, Elbert Fowles really laid one on Pat Tilley there.
You know, the other thing is very difficult, Dick, when you're a big play personality offensively, it's very, very difficult to change your personality and be patient and move the change and play that kind of football. It's very difficult to do, and that's really going to be the challenge here this afternoon for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Carl Birdsong is in to punt for St. Louis. Evan Cooper, a rookie from Michigan, is back inside his 20-yard line. When the Eagles were 1-4, they never let up in any game and were hitting hard to the finish, and they've started out this way this afternoon. Low snap. Nearly blocked, no flag, as Birdsong went down. Cooper is going to run it, picking it up inside the 20 and takes it out close to the 25-yard line. Call it the 23. Earl Ferrell making the tackle. So now the Philadelphia Eagles with Ron Jaworski. 10 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Wilbert Montgomery hasn't been carrying the ball all that much. Oliver the blocker. Mike Quick, the one to watch outside. Tony Woodruff in place of Kenny Jackson, who's injured. John Spagnola has had a fine year at tight end. Maraldi, Kenny, Dennard, Baker, and Leonard Mitchell, the offensive line. So, Hank, what can we look forward to from Philadelphia?
Well, I don't know, the field position is such where they might try to run the ball here, but I think we'll see a lot of throwing here this afternoon, and I think probably they might throw the ball in the area 40 times this afternoon, and I think that's what they have to do to win this game.
They're at the 24-yard line for their first play. And the blocking back, Hubie Oliver, gets the call and moves it up about 1.5 yards, and that's all. Kurt Alderman makes the tackle. He had a terrific game last week. Let's look at the 4-3 defense of the St. Louis Cardinals. They start with Bubba Baker and Curtis Greer outside, David Galloway and Mark Duda inside, although we may see some changes as the game goes on. Howard and E.J. Jr. outside, Kurt Alderman, who just made the tackle in the middle, and the secondary. Once again, Lee Nelson will start at strong safety in the secondary for the Cardinals. 2nd down and 9 at the 25. Jaworski to throw, has some time. It's batted at the line of scrimmage. Galloway might have gotten a hand on it. Baker was there as well. It'll be 3rd and 9. Jaworski has really taken beatings in his career, and of course he's had that cracked rib and a pulled muscle and has a specially designed jacket.
But he's a great competitor, loves to play, and he's a very honest guy. I got a kick yesterday. I talked to him about what the difference has been really and why they've been able to win 3 in a row. He said, well, number one, he said, you got to understand the competition was a little different.
He was honest.
Yeah, he said, but on the other hand, I think Marion Campbell has really done a super job of selling us on the idea that we can be a good team, and he's kept us together, and that's a great compliment to him.
3rd down and 9. Mel Hoover, number 85, is the 3rd wide receiver. Jaworski up the middle. Mike Quick. But he doesn't get the first down. He made a good catch. E.J. Jr. prevented the first down, however.
Benny Perrin, number 23, got a good shot at him. About the time he made the catch, knocked him off stride, moved him backward a little bit, and that's why he was unable to get the necessary yardage for the first down.
Quick is the 3rd leading receiver on the Eagles after having a sensational year last year. And so in the punt is Michael Horan, who's averaging over 41.5. Stump Mitchell, 4th in the conference, is back to receive the punt. Good kick by Horan. Mitchell at the 17, doesn't get to the 25. Good pursuit by the Philadelphia Eagles, and Rich Cranack made the tackle. A 49-yard kick by Horan. And we'll be back. Each team has had the ball once in Philadelphia. Hank was talking about Ron Jaworski's reference to the schedule. Keep in mind, though, that the Pittsburgh Steelers couldn't beat the Colts last week, but they won those games.
Well, that's typical of what's happening in the league. Anything can happen, and I'm sure Pittsburgh thought they were going to have an easy time, but they wound up losing a game.
Cardinals have to watch themselves in this game. Can't be overconfident against the Eagles. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. Lomax to throw on first down. Has time to Roy Green, and a first down near midfield. So Roy Green at a 23-yard reception. Wes Hopkins makes the stop. Roy Green has caught 29 passes now in the last 5 games.
Watch the linebackers get deep drops. They hang in there, and then all of a sudden, they've got plenty of time to throw the ball, but he throws the ball right between the linebackers and in front of the defensive back, the safety man. And for that reason, they were able to successfully get the ball right in the middle where you have to throw it against the zone. Look at the linebackers drop. Look at Jerry Robinson. But they threw the ball over the linebackers, and that's important.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line. Here's Otis Anderson getting past midfield into Eagle territory at the 49. A gain of about 3. Ken Clark and Anthony Griggs make the tackle. Anderson, of course, the leading rusher for the Cardinals. Against the Redskins, gained nearly 5 yards, and somehow he gets overshadowed when you look at the big play people that the Cardinals have.
But he's a great back. When he's healthy, he's as good as anybody. Dennis Harrison is on the turf.
That's an untimely blow for the Eagles because Harrison has really come alive, has been a terrific pass rusher, so he's hurt, and we're going to take a timeout.
There's a shot of Marion Campbell, the old Swamp Fox. Had a good visit with him yesterday, and he feels good about the way his team has rallied around each other, and of course he's done a terrific job, I think, of holding things together, as I mentioned earlier.
He has not panicked in the least bit. Paid off. Second down and 6 at the 49. Dennis Harrison walked off on his own power. Pat Tilley goes in motion. And here's Earl Ferrell up the middle. For a couple, it'll be third and about 4 or 5 for the Cardinals. Byron Darby, number 94, second-year lineman out of USC, replaces Dennis Harrison at left end for the Eagles. So it'll be third down, and call it 5 for the Eagles. For the Cardinals, they're in Eagle territory at the 46.
The Eagles like to play a zone defense, which means they cover areas on the field instead of individual people. The corners play about 9 yards deep, and they look into the backfield, into the quarterback, to see where he's going to throw the ball.
This time he handed off to Anderson, and Anderson went nowhere. Stopped at the 45-yard line, a gain of 1, so it'll be fourth down, and Birdsong will be in to kick again, and thus far it's been a defensive battle in the early series of the ball game. Greg Brown and Byron Darby combined to stop Otis Anderson, and so Birdsong will punt, and Evan Cooper is back on the 10-yard line. Of course, Cardinals facing a different defense than they've seen in recent weeks.
They have, yeah. They've been playing against a 4-3, which means they have 4 linemen and 3 linebackers. Now they're playing against a 3-4, which means they have 3 linemen and 4 linebackers, and it's a little different personality.
9 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. No score. Birdsong off the side of his foot, out of bounds. Not a good kick. And the Eagles will have the ball shy of the 30-yard line. Not bad field position for what it could have been. A 17-yard punt. Herron makes the tackle, and Wilbert has just gained 11 yards on that play.
There was a trap play with the right guard pulling. He's got the option to go inside or outside. The right guard pulled on the play, Steve Kinney, and created a nice hole in a running room for Wilbert Montgomery.
He has 4 100-yard games against the Cardinals, but he hasn't gone over 100 yards yet this year. His best effort was against Minnesota in the second week when he gained 98. First and 10 for the Eagles in St. Louis territory, 47-yard line. Play action. Pass. Unable to handle it is Hubie Oliver. Just a bit high for him.
Curtis Greer got some pretty good penetration on the last play, and that's why Jaworski was not able to throw the ball on the money. It was a play-action fake, but he did not hold Curtis Greer. The fake was not good enough, and that's why he had a little trouble throwing the ball over the top.
Keep in mind that the Eagles are playing without Kenny Jackson, the #1 draft pick from Penn State, who was really coming on. He has a separated shoulder and is expected to be out for 6 weeks. So Tony Woodruff starts for him. Stafford Mays, a pass rusher, replaces Mark Duda on the line for the Cardinals. Second and 10 at the 47.
And that bump and run, he might try to go up on top here.
Out, and it's a loose ball. And the Eagles recover it. Way back at the 35-yard line, Lee Nelson was blitzing on the play. And the Cardinals could have recovered that.
Hubie Oliver did a good thing, although he showed a lot of deliberation. You should never try to officiate the game. Just fall on a football. You never know how they're going to call it. There's the blitz from the backside. Look at that hit. And the ball flies loose, and he thinks maybe it's a incompleted forward pass, but finally he decides to fall on the ball, and luckily he did, or else it'd have been a first down for the St. Louis Cardinals.
So there we are seeing Lee Nelson blitzing again as he did last week against Joe Theismann.
And he blitzes from the backside. The quarterback doesn't see him, and he's a good tackler, and he really made a bone-crushing hit on Jaworski.
Second down, third down and 26 now. Big loss on the play. And you may see the Cardinals coming again. Jaworski getting rid of it in a hurry, going deep for Hoover. And he makes the catch. Talk about a big third down strike. Hoover.
They had him in man for man, Dick. And Washington is trying to cover Hoover. Jaworski threw the ball up on top in good shape. And he had outside position on him. And the ball was thrown inside. Watch this again. Now watch Hoover break down the field. Washington is on his outside. The ball is thrown on the inside and out in front. And Washington does not make any kind of a play on the ball because the ball is thrown perfectly. He was with him step for step, but it was a perfectly thrown ball.
Only the 4th reception of the year for Mel Hoover, 44-yard play, and the Eagles are threatening. 1st and 10 at the St. Louis 20-yard line. 4.5 minutes to go, first quarter. That was the big play of the ball game so far, and here is Hubie Oliver, who gets 1.5 yards, and that's all. E.J. Jr. and Benny Perrin combined to make the tackle. But a big 3rd down, 26 play. Mel Hoover, who caught a touchdown against the Giants, his first in the league, as Floyd Peters signals on the sideline.
And he's done an excellent job with the defense, along with Tommy Bettis, who has been super with the defensive backs. They've all done a great job.
Peters, of course, had been many places, including Detroit and San Francisco, and developed great pass rushing teams there. 2nd and 9 at the 19. Oliver, the lone setback. Jaworski completes to Spagnola inside the 10. Another first down for Philadelphia. Perrin and Ollerman make the tackle. 1st and goal.
Spagnola gets a good release from the line of scrimmage and breaks in across a crossing pattern from the right side of the field to the left. And he's finally tackled there by Benny Perrin. Ollerman, number 51, comes in late to make the play, but it's a big first down for the Philadelphia Eagles.
16-yard pickup. 1st and goal at the 2. Under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. In motion, Spagnola. Quick pass. Touchdown. Vito Cav. Reception of the year for Vito Cav, but 2 of them have been for touchdowns. And it's 6-0. Paul McFadden, who hasn't missed, will try the conversion.
That was really a good call, a play-action pass by Teddy Marchabrota.
With Jaworski holding, the kick is good, and it's 7-0 Eagles.
That's a good time for a play-action pass, but because they're in there real tight, and they're expecting you to run. They're in the gaps. You fake inside and throw the ball over the top. Watch it. There's a fake inside, not a very good one, but he gets rid of the ball beautifully. Junior is blitzing on the play, E.J. Jr., but he gets the ball on top to Vito Cav. Here's the quarterback's view of it. Look at E.J. Jr. coming in, but he gets the ball out in front. In spite of that, touchdown, Vito Cav.
Kids don't.
Philadelphia's scoring drive used up a lot of time, and 63 of those 72 yards came through the air. The big one, the 44-yard 3rd down pass to Hoover. McFadden will be kicking off. Stump Mitchell is the man in the middle, back for the Cardinals. Short kick. He has not been kicking the ball into the end zone much. On the 10-yard line, Willard Harrell running it out, and Harrell takes it out past the 30-yard line, where the Cardinals will get their chance again. Well, we've been talking about the very tight NFC East, Hank, and of course we have a 3-way tie for the lead, including Washington. The Giants in the same shoes as the Eagles, 4-4, and those teams will clash coming up next. Now, the Eagles are winning here, and the Giants will be going against the Redskins in the second game.
Washington Redskins are 5-3. The New York Giants are 4-4, and we'll be seeing Theismann and Riggins along with Phil Simms and, of course, the fine receiver, Ernie Gray.
Giants still haven't gotten that running game going.
A lot of teams in the league haven't gotten it going. They're waiting for the second half to start.
It started, folks. Ninth game. 1st and 10 at the 32. Quick toss to Pat Tilley at the 38-yard line. Completed pass. Edwards makes the tackle. For an NFL Today report right now, here's Brent Musburger in New York.
Dick, the Vikings show a goal line defense here against Chicago, probably looking for Peyton, but instead it is Matsui. And look at that lane open up with that powerful line blocking by the Bears. And they lead the Vikings right now in the first quarter. Let's go back to Dick.
Okay, Brent, by the way, Dennis Harrison, who was taken up before, is now back at left defensive end for the Eagles.
Look how deep the left cornerback, Albert Fowles, is playing. That's the kind of thing you have to do. You have to throw in front of him.
2nd and 4. They go on the safety valve to Otis Anderson, who has the first down and brings it out to the 48-yard line.
That was an option play where the quarterback, Lomax, reads downfield. He's going to throw the ball outside to Tilley if he's open. And if the linebacker takes a deep drop, he's going to dump the ball off to the back in the flat, which he elected to do. And that's why Otis Anderson was able to make the play and pick up a nice gain on the play, because the linebacker dropped back deeper than they wanted him to.
Joel Williams, Dennis Harrison combined to make the stop. That's what Lomax did last week, had a sensational game.
Pat Tilley is one-on-one over here on Fowles again. Look at all the room.
Green to the top. 1st and 10 at the 47. They go to Otis Anderson looking for room. And Ken Clark and a few of his friends bring him down shy of midfield. Albert Fowles and Anthony Griggs also in on the play. Cardinals, as we said, have the highest scoring offense in the NFC, averaging over 30 points. They call them San Diego East, of course.
Yeah, they really spray the ball around well. They make 30 points, but they've given up 24 points a game. There's Jim Hannafin, and he's really done a super job with this Cardinal team. He's a player coach. He relates very, very well to the players. They like him very much. And most importantly, they not only like him, but they respect him.
2nd and 8 at the 49-yard line. In motion comes the tight end, Doug March. Lomax has a lot of time. He's looking for someone to catch the ball. He finds someone, and almost in the green shirt, as Ray Ellis, the strong safety, almost made an interception on the ball that was overthrown, intended for Roy Green.
Kenny Clark finally was able to put a little pressure on Lomax, but he had plenty of time. Here's Green coming off the ball. Fowles is on his outside, and he breaks into the middle area. He did not see him, however, and as a result did not throw the ball to him. Elected to throw the ball deep downfield. Finally went back to him, but the ball was thrown way too high, and the big problem was Ken Clark, 71, got good penetration and made him throw the ball way over the top of his head.
The Eagles have picked up 14 sacks in the last 3 games, and the opposition hasn't connected on too many long plays. Stump Mitchell and Willard Harrell in the shotgun formation now.
Here's the middle is open again.
3rd and 8 at the 49. Going up on top for Cedric Mack, and Mack is there. He drops the ball. He had the edge on Fowles, Hank.
That was the middle. He hit him right down the spot. It went right through there.
And a flag is down. Penalty marker down, Hank.
But the guy they're going to work on is Albert Fowles, number 29. But again, you can see from the pictures, the quarterback looks at it. Look at the middle. It's wide open. And he throws the ball down the middle.
Roughing the passer, number 94, first down.
Cedric Mack had the ball and just let it go right through his hands.
Well, it came up roses for the Cardinals anyway. Roughing the passer on this play.
Watch the penalty. They get penetration. Yeah, Byron Darby, number 94, gives him a little massage as he hits him to the ground, a little facial, and that's why he got called for the penalty.
That's no beauty parlor, though, down on the field, I'll tell you that. 1st and 10, as a result of the penalty. Cardinals maintain the ball at the Eagle 36. Roy Green coming out wide right. Pitch is to Anderson, and Anderson is hit hard at the 30-yard line. Anderson picked up 6 yards right there. Wes Hopkins making the tackle on Otis Jerome Anderson.
I think one thing is very important, Dick, when you talk about traveling slowly and working against the zone, you have to understand that there's times where you're going to have to throw the ball deep just to keep them honest and keep them loose, and you're going to get them in a one-on-one situation on occasion. That's what they did the last time, and they should have been 6 points.
So that is the end of the first quarter here in Veterans Stadium. The temperature around 80, and the Philadelphia Eagles lead the St. Louis Cardinals 7-0. Dick Stockton and Hank Stram. We start the second quarter in Philadelphia. The Eagles lead the Cardinals 7-0, but the Cardinals have a 2nd and 3 on the 29-yard line of Philadelphia. Play action rollout. Lomax fires, and what a catch by Marsh inside the 5-yard line. He was surrounded by green shirts, went up high, and made the great play.
Flag down on the play, however.
Yep, and you know what that is? Oh. 24-yard pass play will be called back. Jerry Markbride is the official, the referee today.
Illegal forward pass. Number 15, offense. Also loss of down.
Stepped over the line, Hank.
Yeah, there's a play action fake that time. It was a good fake and then a dash. And a dash meaning that he is going to dash from one side to the other. He's going to move the pocket. He dashed to his left that time. That's why they call it that. He runs to his left. Had the receiver open. Marsh made a sensational catch, but he didn't know where he was and went beyond the line of scrimmage. And that's why the penalty was called.
Hindsight's 20/20, but he had a lot of room to make those 3 yards.
Oh, yes, he did. Yeah, and he's such a good runner, and I think that kind of thing really puts a lot of pressure on the Eagles' defense. He has to do more of that because he moves so well.
So it's 3rd down and 8. Ball back at the 34-yard line instead of 1st and goal. Pressure on Lomax. Lomax gets hit, but completes it to Roy Green, who has the 1st down inside the 15-yard line to the 13. Just as he got hit, he found Roy Green. Gain of 21 yards. Hopkins the tackle.
Roy Green, they have a crossing pattern. He comes across the field. There you see him come into the picture. The defensive back is in hot pursuit, but he doesn't get there. Herman Edwards doesn't get there in time, and he makes the catch.
Pat Tilley is shaken up.
Watch Tilley, number 80 through 83. Look at him get a shot coming off the ball. He was not aware of what that linebacker was going to do, and he really gave him a shot and knocked him to the turf.
Ray Ellis, and Tilley is still down on the field. He is not a very big receiver, to say the least, but he's been kind of durable, but he is shaken up, and we'll take a timeout. Pat Tilley was shaken up, but he appears to be all right. He's out of the game now.
Ray Ellis really gave him a shot, number 24.
Roy Green has caught 2 for 44 yards. He's led the NFL in receiving yardage coming into this game. 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line.
Albert Fowles is 10 yards off the ball over there.
Otis Anderson is hit at the line and gets another yard, and that's all. Lomax wanted to get Anderson up the middle, but Joel Williams and Wes Hopkins closed the gap.
Green was on Fowles one-on-one, and Fowles was about 10 yards off the ball. I think anytime that you see that, yeah, you should take advantage of it, call it automatic, and get the ball out there because it's like stealing. It's the place to go.
Shaken up is Greg Brown momentarily, and they're going to tend to him. I wonder if the weather might have any effect because it is really sticky and steamy and warm, unseasonably so, as we said on the field.
The only thing about that is that it's the same for both teams, and so I'm sure the humidity would be a factor, but they're both used to it and won't make a difference, I don't think, this afternoon.
We have a timeout. 13:55 remaining in this second quarter.
You know.
Next Saturday, CBS Sports Saturday features 2 live championship fights. Undefeated Billy Costello will defend his WBC World Super Lightweight title against former champion Leroy Haley, a big hometown crowd in Kingston, New York.
Yeah, that should be a good one. They're both excellent fighters, and of course, Costello's got a great knockout record. It ought to be a terrific fight.
Jaime Garza, 38 knockouts in 40 fights, will also be in action on CBS Sports Saturday next week. 2nd down and 9 at the 11. Byron Darby replaces Greg Brown, who came off on his own power. Cardinals trail, and here's Otis Anderson cutting inside, and Anderson, close to the goal line, is stopped short at about the 1-yard line by Ray Ellis. Almost a touchdown for O.J.
Great illustration of good vision. It was a counter play. Anderson, watch, takes a step to his right. The right guard and the right tackle pull. He's supposed to be going outside. Watch this, though. He sees him cave the defensive end out. He sees the cavity, covers up the football, and goes right up the middle for as much yardage as he possibly can, and takes the ball right down to about the 1-yard line. Really a great run by Otis Anderson.
That's what he's done so far. He's already carried 8 times, goes out of the ball game. 1st and goal at the 1. Randy Love and Stump Mitchell. In motion, Earl Ferrell. And it's Stump Mitchell over for the touchdown. And the Cardinals come back, and it's a 7-6 ball game. And for Mitchell, that is his 7th touchdown rushing of the year. He has 7 touchdowns on the ground. The Eagles, as a team, have only 2 touchdowns rushing.
You know, Stump Mitchell really gives him a great dimension in that Otis Anderson is big and he's strong and he's a long strider. Stump Mitchell is shorter quick feet, makes quick moves, and is a very, very dangerous runner.
Benny Perrin holding for Neil O'Donohue, who has missed 2 conversions. One cost him a game, and one almost cost him a game. That was last week. Not a good snap, but O'Donohue's kick is good, and we have a tie ball game. 12 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Philadelphia scored first, and the Cardinals have come back to tie it up. Big play in the drive was a 21-yard pass from Lomax to Roy Green to set up Mitchell's touchdown run. 7-7 the score. O'Donohue kicking off, and the deep Evan Cooper, flanked by Major Everett and Andre Waters. There is Cooper. It goes to Cooper, backing up 3 yards in the end zone, and he'll down the tear for a touchback. We were talking about CBS Sports Saturday, the Costello-Haley fight, and the WBC World Super Bantamweight Championship between Jaime Garza and Juan Kid Meza.
How about Garza? 38 knockouts out of 40. He's incredible, isn't it?
What a great record, and special performances from the 1984 Figure Skating Championships, including the great Torvill and Dean. One of the last looks at them as amateurs. Great Britain dance team that is just sensational. You'll see Tiffany Chin, bright new American star. Pat O'Brien profiles Olympic skiing gold medalist Bill Johnson, who won the gold medal in Sarajevo as the World Cup ski season approaching. First and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Eagles. Montgomery looks like he may want to throw. He's going to be thrown down inside the 10 by David Galloway. Looked like a pass, didn't it?
You know why it looked like a pass, don't you, Dick?
Why? Because it was. All right. I caught on pretty fast,
yeah,
didn't I, Coach?
You done good there. I tell you, Wayne Smith really recovered nicely and covered the receiver all the way down the field. Did a beautiful job on Tony Woodruff.
Loss on the play of 9 yards. Second down and 19. The ball back and spotted at the 11-yard line. Jaworski, deep drop back to the goal line, and he's going to go outside. And Mike Quick down the sideline, may beat everyone. And he will. To Mike Quick, his 5th touchdown reception, and the Eagles take a page out of the Cardinal book with a big play, Hank Stram.
Well, you know what happened? He was in the slot that time, and Lionel Washington was covering him. He went out into the flat casually and then broke up the field. Washington didn't cover him. He broke down the field, 90 yards for the touchdown.
Jaworski holding. McFadden makes good on the extra point. And they are happy in Philadelphia. Longest of Jaworski's career, 90 yards to Mike Quick to give Philadelphia the lead.
Watch now, he's on the right side of your screen. He goes out in the flat. You don't see it, but he goes out in the flat and then breaks up the sideline beyond Washington, number 44. And as fast as Quick is, he's gone. It's the bye-bye Blues. He goes all the way for the touchdown and goes 90 yards, and he licks Lionel Washington, number 48, on the play. No, I'm wrong. It was not Washington. It was Wayne Smith. I'm sorry. 44. It was 44, man for man.
Big play, and the Philadelphia Eagles have the lead.
Must apologize to Washington. It was not Washington. It was Wayne Smith.
Give credit where credit is due.
That's right.
Time since the Chicago Bears were in any kind of position to say open up a 3-game lead in the Central Division. But that's the situation they're in, and they're doing well against Minnesota today.
They really are, and Mike Ditka and his coaching staff really have done a super job with that young Bear team.
First and 10 for Lomax at the 38. Of course, keep in mind the Cardinals always have the ability to strike big, just as the Eagles have done. 14-7.
I think even though they're playing a lot of zone, they have to go after Albert Fowles a little bit more than they have.
And Ken Clark sacks Neil Lomax for a nose tackle, Hank. Ken Clark puts on tremendous pressure.
And I think people have to understand when we sing about certain individuals, we're not talking about the fact that they're bad players. Watch Ken Clark, number 71 now. There you see him on the nose. He breaks through 2 blockers. A beautiful job, gets penetration. Ken Clark, number 71. Boy, that's a great picture.
First sack of the ball game and a loss of 8 yards. Second down and 18. Cardinals back to the 30. 11:06 to go in the second quarter. Neal wants some real estate back. He's got Otis Anderson, puts on a great move. Anderson puts on a good move to Bernard Wilson and has a first down. Let's see, maybe shy by a yard of a first down. Gain of 17. He needed 18, but a good play.
And so far, the Cardinals are really doing a good job of exercising the patience that they had to express in this game. I think there's times, however, where they can get the ball long, and especially they can take advantage of Albert Fowles, number 29, a left cornerback, whenever he's one-on-one. Not that he's not a good player, it's just they're going to stay away from Herman Edwards, who is a proven, experienced right cornerback on the right side, number 46.
Good call against the nickel defense. Going under, 3rd down and 1 for the Cardinals, and the pitch to Otis Anderson, and Anderson will have a first down as he gets into Philadelphia territory to the 47-yard line. He has been a hard-charging running back today, as Anderson has been a workhorse. Griggs makes the play.
Anderson has terrific vision, and once he sees a crack, he's going to take advantage of it. Whenever we talk about a crack or a seam or a cavity, where we're talking about the area between the defensive lineman and the offensive blocker, and they spread the hole from side to side, that's what we're talking about, and that's what he sees so well.
Ball at the 47-yard line of Philadelphia. Stump Mitchell replaces Anderson. Play action, Lomax stepping up, and he finds Ferrell, who makes a good play, and Earl Ferrell charging is close to a first down, shy by a yard. Jerry Robinson makes the play, but Earl Ferrell, who can block well, shows he can receive well.
You know, Neil Lomax that time really did an excellent job of knowing exactly where his people were. It was a play action fake. He wanted to throw the ball to the right side, but it was covered. He went back to the left side, made sure he knew where everybody was, and then finally dumped the ball back out to the other side. But great poise on the part of Neil Lomax, number 15.
2nd down and 1. Good situation here for a quarterback. Going to keep it on the ground to Stump Mitchell. Mitchell breaking outside. First down and out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. And he got a good block by the man who caught the ball on the previous play.
Well, I tell you, he makes things happen. Talking about Stump Mitchell, he's very quick. Reads very well, takes advantage. Look at the people up front doing a good job. He dips inside and breaks outside, carries the ball away from pressure, and is finally knocked out of bounds by Herman Edwards, number 46. But he makes a beautiful run on the play.
Earl Ferrell with the block. Stump Mitchell, who when he fills in for Otis Anderson, doesn't mind going over 100 yards because he's done that a good deal of the time. He's a great fill-in. Could start on most teams, or many. 1st and 10 at the 29. Cardinals trailing 14-7 with 8:46 to go in the first half. Roy Green in motion. Pass is caught by Marsh, the tight end. Another first down to the 15-yard line. Ray Ellis brings Marsh down. And now they have to separate Ray Ellis from Doug Marsh, who thought Ray was a little bit over-anxious on the play. Gain of 14.
Doug Marsh is lined up at the tight end position on the right side. On your left, as you look at the replay, and he breaks into the open area between the safety man and the corner, catches the ball high, maintains possession, but that's the soft spot of that zone. Zone, again, meaning that people are covering areas of the field instead of people.
Ellis caught him high, too. 1st and 10 at the 15. Wide receivers to the left. Tilley and Green. Lomax dumps it out to Otis Anderson. Anderson cutting inside the 10, and tackled at the 8-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play. Anthony Griggs makes the tackle. But you can see, Hank, how the Cardinals, either on the ground with the swing passes or deep passes, are such a prolific offensive team.
Well, the thing that's tough is you dump the ball off into the flat area to Otis Anderson, and you get a one-on-one situation on a defensive back or a linebacker, and he's not going to make the tackle unless it's a perfect tackle, and you get him off balance a little bit. He's going to make him fall the wrong way and take advantage of it, and that time it was a great illustration of it. He picked up about 8 yards on a play that was really a nothing play.
Lomax is 8 for 11 for 107 yards. Second down 3 at the 8. Anderson couldn't find room. He's trying to cut in and counter all day, and stopped by Ken Clark at about the 6-yard line. 3rd and short.
Well, they got 2 downs now to pick up about a yard or half a yard. They can slam it in there because now they have 2 tries at it on the running play.
They bring in Randy Love and Stump Mitchell. Green and Tilley and Anderson go out. There's a lot of people they use on the offensive unit. 3rd down and 1. And here is Stump Mitchell, thrown for a loss by Ken Clark. We've mentioned his name a bundle already.
That's the one thing, when you go sideways, you cannot afford to get any penetration. Ken Clark, number 71, got the penetration, and anytime you get that happening, while you're in trouble, and they lose yardage on the play.
So Neil O'Donoghue is in to try for a field goal as Lomax's bid to get 6 goes down, and there is another player injured. It's a Philadelphia player, Tom Struthers, a defensive end. And we're going to take a break right now. O'Donoghue will attempt a 28-yard field goal when we come back with 6.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Struthers is still on the turf for the Philadelphia Eagles and still being tended to. As we take a look at Neil O'Donoghue, has a long time to think about this. Interesting about the field goal situation for him.
Yeah, he's 13 to 23 inside the 40, and outside the 40, 13 to 25. I think that what happens a lot of the times with kickers with good legs, when they get in there close, they don't kick this with the same stroke. They try to aim the ball and try to punch it through there, whereas when there's a long field goal, they really attack the ball and get a lot into it. I think O'Donoghue has a tendency to try to chip the ball through there. He does not follow through real well and takes a quick look, and I think that's why he's had trouble kicking the ball in close, plus the fact that I don't think many people realize the head is the heaviest part of the body, and if you move the head, everything moves and it takes you off stride.
Tom Struthers walks off. He's the 3rd Eagle defensive end to be shaken up today. Harrison and Brown since returned to the game after they were injured. Perrin will hold, 28-yard attempt. O'Donoghue won last week's game over the Redskins with a 21-yarder with 3 seconds remaining. And this kick is good, and O'Donoghue. Kick is good, and it's a 14-10 ball game, and so Neil is now 12 for 20 on the season, and the Cardinals come away with something.
Watch his style. Now here's a replay of the kick. Watch him come through the ball as the ball is down. See, his head still comes up a little quick for a place kicker, but he got good contact and got it through there in good shape.
6:10 remaining in the second quarter. 14-10 the score. Beautiful afternoon in Philadelphia. The Eagles lead the Cardinals 14-10. Ron Jaworski has thrown 2 touchdown passes, including a 90-yard strike to Mike Quick, the 3rd longest touchdown in Eagle history. Neil O'Donoghue has just kicked a field goal and will be kicking off to Evan Cooper at the goal line. Twisting kickoff, and it goes the way of Andre Waters, who downs it for a touchback. Well, there's college football next Saturday on CBS. Many of you will see the Iowa Hawkeyes take on Wisconsin in Big Ten action.
And Iowa, with Hayden Fry as the head coach, is leading the Big Ten at this stage of the season.
Wisconsin upset Ohio State yesterday. You saw that on CBS. And those of you in the West will see USC battle Pac-10 rival Stanford. It's next Saturday, 12 Eastern or 3 Pacific, right here on CBS Sports. Eagles ball, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Keep in mind, both these teams have won 3 in a row. and are very much in the NFC East race. Montgomery loses the ball, and a fumble at the 28-yard line, and the Cardinals may have recovered. Let's wait. The Cardinals indicate they have it, and so do the officials. Fumble by Montgomery. St. Louis has it. Tough break for Marion Campbell.
Wilbert Montgomery, this is something he does very well. Watch the cutback. Look at the big seam there, and look at the right tackle. Leonard Mitchell make a block. He goes through there, but as he's running through there, Nelson, number 38, scrapes the ball loose, and the St. Louis Cardinals recover the fumble. Boy, that Nelson is really around the ball. He's a good tackler and a very alert football player and an excellent blitzer.
He's been around. This is his 9th year. He was a 15th round draft pick. They don't go that high anymore. Nelson has caused 2 fumbles today. First down, Lomax going for Roy Green, who makes a diving play, complete inside the 10-yard line. He got away from the defender, fouls.
Yeah, I think they have to do more of that, Dick. We've talked about it quite a bit, but Fowles is playing very, very soft, meaning he's deep, about 10, 12 yards deep, and you should be able to throw the ball in front. There's good protection. The offensive line doing a great job, and look at how far out in front of Albert Fowles he is. He makes the catch and finally got hit, but it's a big gain for Green, Roy Green, number 81.
He keeps chalking up those yards, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Lomax is 6 for 6 on first down passing attempts. Here comes another one. First and goal at the 8. Running around out there. He's got some time. He fires to Tilley. Touchdown, St. Louis. Tilley had to do a high wire balancing act right at the end of the end zone. He beat Albert Fowles finally, and the Cardinals have taken the lead.
But there again, that was the same play they threw a little earlier. A dash play from play action. Dash meaning he rolls to his left. He hit Doug Marsh the last time, and it was called back this time. He has plenty of time, plenty of room. Finally spots Pat Tilley open in the end zone. Touchdown, St. Louis Cardinals.
So both passers are hot so far, and with Perrin holding, O'Donohue, who just kicked a field goal moments ago, now kicks the conversion to give the Cardinals a 17-14 lead. And of course it was set up on that Wilbert Montgomery fumble, and Pat Tilley on the receiving end, his 4th touchdown reception of the year. 17-14 the score with 5:01 remaining. The Eagles defensively had not allowed a touchdown pass in the last 3 games coming into this one. Well, coming up, the NFC West has a very important battle. You see the standings there, Hank. San Francisco leading the Rams by 2. The Rams can close the gap.
And, of course, Jeff Kemp has done a good job for the Rams, along with Eric Dickerson. And, of course, Montana and company of San Francisco are really a hot football team and playing extremely well. They're 7-1. The Rams are 5-3.
But Bill Walsh, you never know what to expect. He is such a, an innovative offensive guy. They're a great team to watch when they have the ball.
Very, very unpredictable, and that's what makes them such a dangerous offensive football team.
But the Rams have been playing well, and this is their opportunity at home to come within a game of the 49ers and make a race out of a division everyone thought was over.
Well, Johnny Robinson, I think, has done a terrific job with that Ram team, especially after losing their fine quarterback, Ferragamo. But they continue to win with Jeff Kemp at the quarterback spot.
Evan Cooper at the 8-yard line. Trip and down at the 25. Randy Love making the tackle on the rookie from the University of Michigan. Now let's check some scores of other games around the league. Pittsburgh drawing first blood against Atlanta in the second quarter. Steelers lost to the Colts last week.
Oh, look at this. New Orleans 7, Cleveland 7 in the second quarter.
Sam Rutigliano replaced by Marty Schottenheimer as head coach of the Browns. Cincinnati leading Houston 14-7 in the second quarter in the Astrodome. First and 10 at the 25 for the Eagles, who are trailing for the first time in the ball game. 4:53 on the clock. Here's play action. Jaworski dumps it out to Hubie Oliver, and Oliver ends up with a gain of about 3 yards, and that's all. Wayne Smith making the tackle.
Kansas City 7, Tampa Bay 0 in the second quarter, playing that in Kansas City.
The Jets leading New England 10-3. Of course, they've had a little chaos in the coaching department in New England, haven't they?
Yeah, that's always difficult when you change coaches in the middle of the season. Here you see Green Bay 14-6 over Detroit in the second quarter.
And Bears over Minnesota 13-0 in the second quarter at Soldier Field. Dallas breaks out on top of the Colts. Tony Hill from Danny White, 38 yards. Second down and 7 to 28. Here they come, the blitz, and the pass is incomplete. They were going for Montgomery, but it was way short. Griffin was covering on the play, and that wasn't even close.
Well, Montgomery said yesterday that I don't particularly like to be outside because I'm usually a decoy. That time they threw the ball to him, but he didn't have a chance to get the ball deep because he got such a severe rush. But he's dangerous out there, and what it does when you put Montgomery out away from Quick, it takes away perhaps the double cover of Mike Quick, and that's why they do it.
Time remaining. 3rd and 7. Jaworski now with his 2 touchdown passes has 12 on the year, has thrown only 6 interceptions.
They got Wayne Smith in the slot again. Now they get Perrin over here to help him.
Mel Hoover goes in motion. Jaworski fires to the outside of Mike Quick. First down and out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Lionel Washington was covering, but Mike Quick got free.
They sent a man in motion. The man in the slot went in motion to the left and provided Quick with a one-on-one situation on Lionel Washington. Look at how much he beats him to the outside. The ball's thrown right on the money, and he finally runs out of bounds. Had he got himself straightened out a little bit, he'd have been able to make a lot more yardage on the play because Wayne Smith was way inside.
Quick has caught 3, and Jaworski has completed 8 of 12. Mike Quick caught the 90-yard touchdown pass to put the Eagles in front 14-7, but the Cardinals have come back to take the lead. 1st and 10 at the 44. Montgomery with Oliver blocking, breaks it up the middle, and Wilbert Montgomery with his best run of the day has a first down at the Cardinal 45-yard line, but a penalty marker is back down at the line of scrimmage. Holding against Philadelphia. Bring it back.
Holding, number 64, offense, first down.
Dean Maraldi, the left tackle.
And he's been playing very, very well for the Eagles. We talked to Marion Campbell yesterday, and he thinks probably he's the most improved player on the offensive line. That time he got called holding. But he has gotten much bigger. He weighed last year, weighed about 255. Now he's up to about 280.
I'm trying to think what he did. I think a lot of ice cream and cake got him up there, huh?
Yeah, I think that's what pumped him up.
First down and 20. Back at the 34 instead of a 1st and 10 at the 45 of St. Louis. Montgomery trying to find some room outside. Tackled from behind by Kurt Allerman. Ron Baker, the right guard, setting the block for Montgomery.
Vito Cab, number 84, really made a nice block on the left linebacker, Tom Howard, number 59. And that's why they were able to get yardage on the outside. Anytime that you run a sweep and you don't get penetration, you're going to make yardage.
Bubba Baker is shaken up on the play. We've already had 3 Eagles hurt. 2 of them have come back to action. Harrison and Greg Brown. Struthers was also shaken up, but now it's Bubba Baker, and he is an integral part of the St. Louis defense up front.
Talking to Jim Hannafin yesterday, he was just ecstatic, and there we see a picture of him. He was ecstatic about the acquisition of Randy Holloway, who they got for nothing on waivers from the Minnesota Vikings. He's number 74, but he'll likely see action here. He's a very good pass rusher, and they're just delighted to have him on their football team.
Holloway had 5 of the 14 sacks that the Vikings had collected this year, including 4 in one game, and they had thought that they'd use him in this game and move Baker inside. But Baker is shaken up right now. He played so well against the run, didn't he, last week against the Redskins?
Yes, he did. He played much better against the run than I've seen him. Normally, I think his personality is a strong pass rusher, but I think here at St. Louis, he's really improved his run play and was very outstanding last week.
And speaking of the Washington Redskins, who were stymied by the Cardinals, 3-way tie in the NFC East, the Redskins will be going against the New York Giants. In the second game of our CBS doubleheader, you see Dallas is leading. Cardinals are leading here in this game and other games involving NFC East teams. And, of course, the Redskins will face the Giants. It'll be their second meeting When the Redskins, Hank, were 0-2 this year, they got off on their 5-game winning streak with a victory over the Giants in Washington.
Well, they've had a lot of injuries. Talking about Washington, and they lost Jeff Bostic last week, their great offensive center, and that could hurt them.
Well, they've got Theismann and Riggins and Art Monk, and that's a good start. Second down and 13 with 3:20 to go, back at the 41-yard line. Jaworski. Intercepted. Lionel Washington stepped out of bounds at the 43-yard line. So another turnover gives the Cardinals another opportunity. Montgomery fumbled last time. Washington picks this off with 3:05 to go.
It looked like there was some miscommunication between the receiver that time and the quarterback. He goes back into the pocket. Got time to throw the ball, throws the ball outside. But Montgomery was the outside receiver, and he was inside. I think Jaworski thought he was going to cut to the outside, and that's one of the disadvantages of trying to use a running back as a receiver. Sometimes they're not in tune with the receiver, with the calls.
Fourth interception of the season for Washington. He had 8 in the final 9 of last year. First and 10 at the 43 for Lomax. Cardinals leading 17-14, looking for more. Stepping up and stepping down. He is sacked. Back in his own territory by Dennis Harrison. Second sack of the ball game by the Eagles.
There was a great illustration of the zone coverage. He wanted to throw the ball deep, but they were back there very deep, had a good jump on the receivers, and as a result had no place to throw the ball. By the time he made a decision, he was tackled from the backside, and luckily he was able to keep possession of the ball.
Back to Harrison. He was All-Pro 2 years ago and had a great start last year, and he had most of his sacks and then got ice cold the second half of the year. Didn't do much the first half, but he's second on the ball club now and has 4 quarterback sacks in the last 2 games. Second down, 17 at midfield.
Boy, look at all the room on the right side on Albert Fowles, number 29.
But Cedric Mack.
There it is.
But Marsh, the tight end, got the call and dropped the ball, but Marsh was wide open, standing around the 40-yard line, and he was so wide open he could count the house.
And Byron Darby that time, 94, got good penetration, and I think that's why he did not throw the ball downfield. He threw it off, dumped it off to the tight end instead.
Third and 17. Marsh last week had a career high of 99 yards in receiving against the Redskins. Caught 6 passes, including a score. Comes out of the ball game. Mack comes out to the left. Green and Tilley to the right. Third and 17. Harrell and Mitchell also in the shotgun formation. Lomax going up on top for Pat Tilley, and the ball is intercepted by the Eagles. Wes Hopkins. And he's out of bounds at the 37-yard line. They get it back on an interception.
As we said earlier, it's very, very difficult for a team who has been a big play team to maintain patience and travel slowly. Here again, he throws deep into the zone. They got double coverage in the outside receiver, and Hopkins makes a sensational interception, number 48, who played his collegiate football at SMU.
Wes Hopkins. Of course, you coached at SMU.
Drove through town. I was there just long enough.
Well, if you... Tootie Robbins is being tended to on the far side. He was shaken up. He made the tackle, knocking Hopkins out of bounds, and Lomax with only his 6th interception of the season. He has thrown 16 touchdown passes, and Robbins really shaken up on that play.
You know, once the ball is thrown, as far as that was thrown, the safety man can cover at least 20 yards once it's thrown that far, and Hopkins did exactly that, covered a lot of the center field area just like a baseball player, and came up with a sensational interception.
So Lomax has thrown 1 touchdown pass and 1 interception. By the way, his TD pass, the 17th straight game in which he has thrown 1, and that sets a Cardinal team record. But the Eagles have it with 2:15 to go, first and 10 at the 38, and would like at least a chance for 3 to tie the game before halftime. Stafford Mays replaces Bubba Baker at left end for St. Louis. Puts pressure on Jaworski, who completes the pass to the 49-yard line to Tony Woodruff, who replaced Kenny Jackson in the lineup. Good for 14 yards, and we're going to have our 2-minute warning.
Got a free release coming off the line of scrimmage. Look at the defensive back is way off. Woodruff, number 83, comes back for the ball, and that was really the key. He came back for the ball, and that's why he was able to make the reception.
So a 2-minute warning here in Philadelphia. 1st and 10 at the 48. And Jaworski has thrown for over 200 yards in this first half alone. Jim Hannafin hoping his defense can hold off the Eagles. Marion Campbell's team trailing 17-14 with 2 minutes to go. Good field position.
Yeah, we just saw a picture of Marion Campbell and also Teddy Marchibroda, who calls the plays for the Eagles.
Over 200 yards in this first half for Jaworski through the air. Penalty marker down. Jaworski dumps it off. Incomplete. Intended for Wilbert Montgomery. Movement on the right side.
Curtis Greer, I think, number 75, the right end, was offside on the play. I'm not quite sure, but I think that's who it was.
Offside, number 75, defense.
Right you are. So 1st and 5 now. Floyd Peters flashing the defensive signals. Bubba Baker has a twisted ankle, the report says, and he is expected to return. Meanwhile, his place being taken by Stafford Mays.
And Randy Holloway is in there, number 74.
1st down and 5. Eagles at the Cardinal 43. 1:56 to go in the half, trailing by 3. Going up on top is Jaworski for Woodruff. Incomplete. Griffin was covering on the play. Jaworski claiming there was some sort of interference, I guess, downfield, Hank. Whatever it is, he's upset.
But I don't think there really was interference on the play. I think Jeff Griffin played it very well, number 35. But he's the guy they're going to go after. You can be assured of that. If he winds up in single coverage, they're going to go after him again.
2nd and 5 at the 43. There's Jeff Griffin, who has had the misfortune. You see, the left arm has had his left forearm broken 4 times within the last 2 years. Each team has the full complement of timeouts. Jaworski swings it out to Michael Haddock. Haddock dives forward to the 40-yard line. He is shy of a 1st down, I believe, but not by much, as the clock stops with 1:39.
Haddock made a sensational catch that time. The ball was thrown low and behind him, and in spite of that, he regained his composure and balance and was able to make the play.
The ball is placed at the 39. They're going to measure. It appears as if they're short here. Michael Haddock, number 1 draft pick last year out of Mississippi State, and at this point, you may have to consider him a disappointment.
Yeah, I think anytime, they expected so much from him a year ago, but I think he's coming slowly. But I think they still feel that he's going to be a very fine back for them in time.
They didn't miss by much. Want to remind you, in the very big NFC West clash, the 49ers at 7-1 with the best record in the NFC, with Montana, Clark, Wendell Tyler against the Rams in their group.
They're an exciting, explosive football team. Talking about the 49ers, and the Rams run the ball as well as anybody in the game.
Eric Dickerson. Start with him and you finish with him, right?
That's it. They give it to him in a pregame warm-up, and they give it to him after the game's over with.
But how do you like? We got a chance to see Ron Brown in New Orleans, and he impressed us there.
Oh, he's got such terrific speed, and he's going to be sensational as he goes along in his career.
Eagles had called a timeout. They have 2 remaining. 3rd down and 1, less than 1, at the 39-yard line. Haddock and Oliver, and it's Michael Haddock diving for the 1st down for Philadelphia. Mark Duda makes the tackle. The clock has stopped with 1:34. The Eagles have not called a timeout, and now the clock starts again. Marion Campbell looking to get into position for at least a tying field goal before the intermission.
They got a lot of time with 1:26.
And Jaworski, the way he's looked today, can go up on top at any time.
They got 1 for 1 on the outside, and they might just do that right now.
Good a time as any. 1st and 10 at the 37, up the middle. Good catch by Michael Haddock to the 32-yard line. The clock continues to run, winding towards a minute. The Eagles will line up. They must have called 2 plays.
Yeah, they did. And, of course, you know, the thing that happened, he was trying to go deep, but the defensive backs had him covered in good shape. And he went underneath the Haddocks. Exercised good judgment.
Gain of 5. Jaworski drills it to Montgomery, who looks for the sideline and gets out of bounds. A first down for Philadelphia at the 25-yard line. E.J. Jr. made the hit, but the clock stops with that much time remaining in the first half, and the Eagles are working it well, Hank.
They really are. They're using good judgment, and they're taking advantage of the backs on the linebackers and moving the ball very well.
Timeouts remaining. Eagles.
The Eagles have 2, and St. Louis has 3.
Quick and Hoover out to the left.
They got Griffin. They got one-on-one on Griffin on the outside. Let's see if they throw out there.
Woodruff to the right. Jaworski looking left and swinging the pass out to Haddock. Wide open inside the 20-yard line. Close to another first down. The clock is running. Wayne Smith makes the tackle. The Eagles have 2 timeouts remaining, and they're going to use one of them right now. Boy, they have worked the clock and worked the plays well, haven't they? With 34 seconds, they're sitting pretty.
Yeah, they really have, and they've taken advantage of the coverage very well.
And at the 25, it'll be 1st and 10, and Philadelphia may be thinking of more than 3 points at this stage. Hank, the Eagles are picking things away. What do the Cardinals have to do to get away from this?
I think the Cardinals have to give them a good rush. They have to get a better rush on the quarterback, Jaworski, so he can't get set as well and dump the ball off like he is.
2nd down and 1 at the 16. They're definitely in field goal range. Jaworski with 34 seconds and 1 timeout remaining. They go for more. His pass is incomplete. Flag down, and interference against Mike Quick by Wayne Smith. And that'll really give the Eagles a great chance now.
Yeah, he was all over him that time. He had him licked on the inside. Jaworski threw the ball inside on a slant pass, and Wayne Smith was all over him, grabbed him from the backside.
Pass interference, number 44, defense, first down.
Watch your top of the screen here. Watch Quick, 82, get off the line of scrimmage. Watch 44, grab him, hold him, almost tackled him. I think he did, and that's why they call pass interference. Really a good picture.
And really the only thing he could do, because Quick had him beaten.
Yeah, if he hadn't done that, why he'd have gone in for the touchdown. There you see Floyd Peters and Jim Hannafin.
Both are concerned. 1st and goal at the 6. 30 seconds to go, and now the Eagles not looking for the tie. They're looking to take the lead. Jaworski loops it. Intercepted by Benny Perrin, and a touchback, and the boos from the crowd at Veterans Stadium, and Mike Quick was the intended receiver, and now everyone will say that maybe the Eagles and Jaworski got too greedy.
It looked like Ron.
Watch Perrin.
Watch Quick come off the ball, but watch Perrin, 23, double cover. See, he didn't anticipate the double cover, and he didn't see Benny Perrin coming from the inside. He tried to throw the ball to Quick, and Perrin read the quarterback terrifically well, made the interception. Boy, what a great play by Benny Perrin, number 23, his 3rd interception of the season.
And the 2nd of the game for the Cardinals. Lionel Washington had one earlier. Boy, as a coach, didn't you really hate it when you knew that people were going to kind of second guess, when it's easy to say now they should have stayed and go for 3?
Yeah, but you really can't worry about that, Dick. It happens, but you can't worry about that. All you're worried about is trying to get the ball in the end zone, and in this case, trying to keep them away from the end zone. And I think the way they cover there was a great illustration of what a great job Tommy Bettis does with the defensive back.
Yeah, you're right. And the fact is that the Eagles looked like they were going to get in that end zone the way they were moving the ball.
You're right, and they looked like he had 1-for-1 coverage, and all of a sudden Perrin came over with the double, and he didn't see him coming from the inside out, and that's why he was able to make the play.
So the Swamp Fox is going to have to be content with a 3-point deficit, and the Cardinals are breathing easy as they go into the dressing room at halftime, leading 17-14. Ron Jaworski has thrown 2 touchdown passes to Vito Cabb and Mike Quick. Neil Lomax, though, hit Pat Tilley after Wilbert Montgomery fumbled, and that has been the deciding score right now. At halftime, in the battle between 2 hungry teams, contenders in the NFC East, it's St. Louis 17, Philadelphia 14. Big play, but the Eagles would have to open it up even more.
Yes, I think that's, the personality of the 2 teams today has to be that, but I think the St. Louis Cardinals, I think in the second half, and I'm surprised they didn't do more of it in the first half, surprised they didn't throw the ball a little bit more in 1st and 10. I think they got people in the secondary they can take advantage of it, and I think they should do that because they just can't continually run the ball to get back into this football game. They've only rushed, I think, for 47 yards, and that's not enough.
Taking a look at the halftime statistics, you're right, 47 yards rushing for the Cardinals, but looking at the turnovers, there have been 4, but 2 of them have been significant.
Well, the interception by Perrin right at the end of the game was a very significant play and a great play on the part of Vinnie Perrin, because I think he thought Jaworski thought he had single coverage and threw the ball not knowing that Perrin was right behind him. Of course, the other big play was a fumble recovery by the Cardinals, and then they went in for a touchdown. So those are the 2 big plays with regard to the turnovers.
All right, a lot of football remaining, and we'll be back for the second half for the Cardinals and the Eagles in a moment. We're ready for the second half kickoff. Cardinals leading the Eagles 17-14. Neil O'Donoghue will be kicking off. He's connected on a 28-yard field goal. Deep for the Eagles is Evan Cooper. And it's going to be Major Everett at the 15-yard line bringing it back, and he's dropped immediately. And the Eagles will take over 1st and 10. CBS Sports Saturday next week features 2 championship fights live. Billy Costello in his hometown of Kingston, New York. Jaime Garza, 38 knockouts in 40 fights. That's the most in professional boxing. 2 big fights, and then special performances of the 1984 Figure Skating Championships. Torval and Dean of Great Britain, one of the last looks at them as amateurs. A live performance by America's bright star Tiffany Chin, and Bill Johnson, a profile of the gold medalist in the downhill at the Winter Olympics in Sarajevo. 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. In motion is John Spagnola. The pitch goes to Wilbert Montgomery, cuts inside, and Montgomery brings it out close to the 30-yard line. A hard charging play by Montgomery. E.J. Jr. and Lee Nelson make the tackle.
That's a formation that we didn't see in the first half. They had Spagnola on the left side, sent him in motion to the right, and then threw the pitch back to Montgomery to the left side, and he picked a hole and popped through there for a nice gain.
Montgomery was the leading rusher for the Eagles in the first half, and neither team really rushed that effectively. 2nd down and 4 at the 29. Montgomery again. He is stopped shy of the first down by Allerman and Lee Nelson. How do I like the way that Kurt Allerman has really filled the gap at middle linebacker for the Cardinals?
Talking to him a week ago, he was very informative and really a nice guy to talk to, and that he explained his situation thoroughly. He knows exactly what his role is. He knows that he doesn't play pass coverage very well, but he knows that he's a good tackler and fills the holes and fills the gaps pursuing, and really has done a remarkable job for the St. Louis Cardinals as a middle linebacker.
First time he started, play action for Jaworski. 3rd down and 1. Montgomery can't catch up to it. Chasing him was Thomas Howard. It'll be 4th down and punting time. He made up his mind he was going to throw the ball in the flat to Montgomery, and Vito Cabb at that time was wide open. Had he thrown the ball over the top to him, it would have been a big play. But here again, we've said so many times, Dick, it's so easy to see it up here and tough when you're down on the field as a quarterback. Stump Mitchell is back, and Mike Horan will punt. Deep kick by Horan, and the ball goes out of bounds at the 22-yard line. And that's where the Cardinals will get their first chance in the second half. Again, want to remind you, coming up next, for many of you viewers, in the NFC West, the San Francisco 49ers 7-1, the LA Rams 5-3, and they'll clash in Anaheim. And the Rams with an opportunity with Eric Dickerson, Jeff Kemp, who has been sensational, backing up and filling in for the injured Vince Ferragamo to close the gap that the 49ers have. At the 22, Lomax, 10 of 14, for 134 yards.
You know, he threw the ball more on 1st and 10 than I thought he did. He had the ball 15 times in the first half on 1st and 10, threw the ball 9 times.
Marsh in motion. Anderson to the 27-yard line. Gain of 5. Jerry Robinson making the tackle on Otis Anderson, who was the leading rusher, and now has that many yards on 11 carries. Stump Mitchell scored a touchdown for the Cardinals, and Lomax threw one to Pat Tilley. Second and 4. Tilley, by the way, is out to the right along with Roy Green.
Got one-on-one on fouls again over here. Look at this.
And it's Tilley. Lomax is looking to Roy Green's side, now going up the middle to Otis Anderson, who has a first down to the 43-yard line. Wes Hopkins makes the tackle. It's good for 15 yards. Anderson led the Cardinals in receiving last year with 54. Came into this game with only 19.
He came out of the backfield that time and cruised around.
At the 22, Lomax, 10 of 14 for 134 yards.
You know, he threw the ball more on 1st and 10 than I thought he did. He had the ball 15 times in the first half on 1st and 10, threw the ball 9 times.
Marsh in motion. Anderson to the 27-yard line. Gain of 5. Jerry Robinson making the tackle on Otis Anderson, who was the leading rusher, and now has that many yards on 11 carries. Stump Mitchell scored a touchdown for the Cardinals, and Lomax threw one to Pat Tilley. Second and 4. Tilley, by the way, is out to the right along with Roy Green.
Got one-on-one on fouls again over here. Look at this.
And it's Tilley. Lomax is looking to Roy Green's side, now going up the middle to Otis Anderson, who has a first down to the 43-yard line. Wes Hopkins makes the tackle. It's good for 15 yards. Anderson led the Cardinals in receiving last year with 54. Came into this game with only 19.
He came out of the backfield that time and cruised around between the linebackers. And as Lomax was looking downfield, he made sure he saw him, got open, made the catch, and got a big first down for the St. Louis Cardinals. Good play on the part of Neil Lomax and Otis Anderson.
First and 10 at the 43-yard line. 17-14, the Cardinals lead. Scoring all of their points in the second quarter. Earl Ferrell gets the call up the middle. They like Ferrell very much. Jim Hanovan told us maybe the most improved player on his offensive unit. And with that unit, that's pretty good. Hopkins making the play. There's Hanovan. Beat his old coaching friend, Joe Gibbs, last week.
But he's the first one to admit that's ancient history, and he's worried now about doing a job here this afternoon.
Against that man. Second and 5.
Boy, look at...
Lomax has time, then dumps it out to Otis Anderson. Anderson with a first down is hit hard at the 42-yard line into Philadelphia territory. Rich Cranack makes the tackle. I'll tell you one thing, the Eagles had the Cardinal receivers covered well.
They really did. They overloaded on the other side, on our side here on the right side. Watch Anderson. He's checking. He's got blocking responsibility. His linebacker doesn't come. He falls out into the flat area. He gets the ball right in the numbers. And he sees a little crack here. Look, and he tries to go right through everybody and almost got through there in good shape. Otis Anderson, a terrific runner, number 32.
See him with his hands out. Where's the ball? He's caught 5 so far for 58 yards. First and 10 now for the Cardinals at the Eagle 42-yard line. Going back deep is Lomax and drills this to Pat Tilley, and a first down at the 25-yard line. Herman Edwards makes the play.
Boy, the ball was right on the money that time. Pat Tilley, he does a great job of getting as close to the defensive back as he possibly can. Look, he fakes to the ball carrier, turns back to the left side, and watch Tilley come back for the ball. Licks Herman Edwards, number 46. but he gets very close to the defensive back before he makes his move. He turns him as well as anybody in professional football.
Tilly with 33 receptions on the year. He had 44 last year, and we're only about halfway through the season. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. 9:45 to go in the third quarter. Cardinals driving. Lomax going up on top. Wide open is Marsh for the touchdown. Wide open, Doug Marsh. A touchdown for the Cardinals.
There had to be a mix-up on the play. It looked like a linebacker had coverage on it. Anthony Griggs stood there with his hands on his hips thinking that maybe somebody else, a play-action fake, and he goes right back down to seam. Seam being the area between the center fielder and the cornerback. Look at that. Anthony Griggs, number 58, in disgust, not knowing really. I don't know whether he had coverage or whether somebody else was supposed to pick him up. But anyway, they blew coverage, and Marsh makes the touchdown.
Now O'Donohue in to try the conversion. Benny Perrin is holding with 9:38. High snap, but the kick is good, and it's now a 24-14 game in favor of the Cardinals for Marsh, his 4th touchdown reception of the year.
Watch Marsh, number 80, comes off the line of scrimmage, goes right by one linebacker, and Griggs, I think, was supposed to cover him man for man. It came off of him, and he goes right down behind him in for the touchdown. The ball is thrown beautifully, and touchdown, St. Louis Cardinals.
Marsh, touchdown receptions, 2 in as many weeks. The 17th touchdown pass of the year for Neil Lomax, hitting his tight end, Doug Marsh. Last year, he caught 32 and had 22 coming into this ball game. They used to worry about the tight end position for receivers. I don't think they worry anymore in St. Louis.
No, they don't do it anymore. It's right. That's ancient history.
O'Donohue kicking off. Evan Cooper at the 5. Cooper returning it, tripped up at the 24-yard line by John Good. Well, there's more college football next Saturday on CBS Sports. Many of you will see Iowa leading the Big Ten take on Wisconsin, the upset victor yesterday, knocking off Keith Byers and the Ohio State Buckeyes. And those of you in the West will see USC against Stanford in a Pac-10 battle next Saturday at 12 Eastern to 3 Pacific on CBS Sports.
And Coach Elway has really done a super job at Stanford in his first year there.
Bill Walsh used to coach at Stanford. You'll see him, many of you, in the second game of our doubleheader today when the 49ers take on the Rams. 1st and 10 at the 24. Ron Jaworski. That's what he's done so far today, but that last interception really hurt at the end of the half. Trailing by 10 now, 24-14. Jaworski completes the pass to the 32-yard line of Mike Quick. Wayne Smith making the tackle. Mike Quick with his 4th reception, and Jaworski used 8 different receivers in the first half.
And talking to Mike Quick yesterday, and we asked about the passing game going in against the St. Louis Cardinals, and all that we saw was teeth. He was all smiles.
2nd down and 1. They bring Tony Woodruff way out to the left. Wayne Smith, that man-for-man coverage. Pitch back from Oliver to Jaworski, and he's sacked at the 25-yard line by David Galloway. Raging Bull, and that's the 3rd St. Louis sack of the afternoon. Greer was also there. I don't know how they're going to divide it up, but the Cardinals don't care. They tried something fancy.
Yeah, they tried to fake the ball into the line of scrimmage and then toss it back to Jaworski, and he was going to throw the ball downfield. There you see it. He tosses it back, throws it high. By that time, look at Galloway, number 65. David Galloway, 65. He's the one who got the penetration first of all. Mike Duda was also in there low and got a piece of the quarterback. But it was a great play by David Galloway, number 65.
Bubba Baker, by the way, still has not returned. We don't see him on the sideline. Stafford Mays has been there in place of him. Third and 9 at the 25. Jaworski looking downfield. Montgomery has it. First down, out of bounds near midfield. E.J. Jr. after a 24-yard pickup and a big play to Wilbert Montgomery.
This is the matchup you like. A linebacker, even though he's a good linebacker like E.J. Jr., he's covering Montgomery. Montgomery does a good job of selling him inside. You see him turn his head inside, broke to the outside. The ball was right on the money, and he finally run out of bounds on about the 50-yard line. But a great play by Montgomery.
Talking about the Cardinals defense now, Randy Holloway's been in a lot on pass rush situations, right, Hank?
Yes, he's in there a lot.
Both Holloway and Mays are in there in pass situations. Mays in there now, 1st and 10 at midfield. Jaworski up the middle, completes the pass to Mike Quick, who gets 9 yards on the play.
This is what you call a delay pattern, where the receiver, watch Quick, he goes down the field, lets the tight end clear it out, and then he breaks underneath, you see. And Thomas Howard, number 59, is involved in the coverage. He makes the tackle, but that's what you call an underneath pattern, meaning that you go underneath the defensive backs and also the linebackers.
You see Mike Quick with 5 receptions. His best game was 8 catches. 2nd down and 1 at the 42-yard line. They try to run it on 2nd and 1, and Montgomery gets the call. Lee Nelson forcing the play, and we may have a measurement. It's awfully close. 7 minutes, 18 seconds remain in the 3rd quarter. Marion Campbell's Eagles 4-4, trying to get into the thick of things, and I guess everyone is in the NFC East, against Hannafin's Cardinals, who were tied for first coming in. They're going to measure. And they're short by about the length of the football, maybe less. Vito Cabb and Lawrence Sampleton come in, so there'll be 3 tight ends for the Eagles.
You have a decision sometimes on this kind of a play. You might go for a play-action pass, thinking that it could wind up being a big play. And if you don't get it, you can still go for it because there's only inches to go. Or the other trend would be to say, well, we got 2 downs to make the first down. We're going to stick it at him and run the ball and make sure we get the first down first. Let's see what they choose to do.
Montgomery, first down. Kurt Alleman tripped him up. Montgomery might have had more, but he'll settle for a first down at the 39 of the Cardinals.
They really came close to breaking that pretty clean. And watch 51, Kurt Alleman, come over from the middle linebacker position. Watch, the ball is going to his right. He gets around inside the block and makes the tackle on Montgomery. Had he not made that tackle, it would have been a larger gain for the Philadelphia Eagles. And a good play by Kurt Alleman.
6.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Ron Jaworski, coming off the season's high of 287 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Giants. Driving the Eagles, who trailed by 10 points. Hubie Oliver swings out, has some room, and Oliver is knocked away by Lionel Washington. The ball is marked at the 38-yard line, so they only get about a couple on that play.
Jaworski's had 10 chances on 1st and 10 and has thrown the ball 10 times and completed 8 of 10. Pretty strong.
Both quarterbacks preferring the pass over the rush on first down today.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because if you figure that you make 4 yards or more with a pass while you're doing a good job, you come up with 2nd and short, and that's the situation you want to be in. You want to stay out of 2nd and long and 3rd and long.
They got 2nd and long right here at the 37-yard line. Jaworski going up on top, going for Woodruff, and Lionel Washington defending on the play and did a good job staying with Tony Woodruff.
Yes, he did. He was right with him step for step, and of course Washington has outstanding speed. He played his collegiate football at Tulane, but he's a flyer and does an excellent job one-on-one on coverage.
Tied for 2nd in interceptions last year in the league, and already has one this afternoon and leads the club. So it's 3rd down and 8 for the Eagles, who are not in field goal range at this point. So this could be a play at this stage important for the Eagles, who are down by 10 points. Jaworski drills it, and it's caught. 31-yard line, shy of a first down. Michael Haddock just shy of a first down. Right now, for an NFL Today report, here's Brent Musburger.
Dick, the AFC Central finally is going to have a team playing better than 500 football. The Steelers are now starting to dominate the Falcons, and of course that would put them one game over with the lead. Let's go back to Dick.
Thank you, Brent. It is 4th down and a yard, and the Eagles will go for it at the 31-yard line.
I don't think they can't do anything but go for it.
The Minnesota Golden Gophers. Remember them?
That's right.
3 tight ends for the Eagles. Trailing 24-14. Here's Montgomery, and he's got it. First down. Not by much, but he's got it. Wayne Smith and Benny Perrin coming in. They may have a measurement.
Hubert Oliver.
And now the Cardinals say they don't make it. Now, they move that ball back to the line, and if that's where they're going to place it, he may not have it, Hank.
Boy, Hubie Oliver made a great block on Allman, the middle linebacker.
Boy, the Eagles are saying that the ball should be farther down. The Cardinals have held. They have held, and it looked from up here that the Eagles did not get a good placement. Of course, they're closer to the situation. It looked as if Montgomery had the first down.
It sure looked like it to me.
So the Cardinals take over on downs. They stop the Eagles, and we'll be back. Dick Stockton and Hank Stram at Veterans Stadium. Marion Campbell, the Eagles head coach, decided to go for it. Not try for the field goal, although he's got a good field goal kicker, and they came up short, although the placement told it all by the officials, right? 1st and 10, St. Louis on the 30-yard line with 5:07 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Stump Mitchell in the game for Anderson gets the call, and he's hit by Jerry Robinson. The Eagles were leading 14-7. And it's been all Cardinals since then. An O'Donohue field goal, a Lomax touchdown pass to Tilley, and then the TD pass to Marsh.
Yeah, the Cardinals really have shown a lot of poise and really a lot of patience. They're doing what they felt they had to do going into the game, and they've executed it very, very well, and have taken advantage of some big plays when they got in the scoring areas.
2nd and 7. Anderson back in the game. Draw play to O.J. Anderson. First down, O.J. head down to the 44-yard line. Wes Hopkins makes the tackle, and a good block by Joe Bostic at right guard.
Well, they had a beautiful hole on the draw play. He waits for the ball on the left side. Good blocking on the left side by Terry Steve, and also Louis Sharp, number 67, both of whom took care of their responsibilities extremely well and created a lot of running room for Otis Anderson.
1st and 10 at the 44 for the Cardinals. 3:40 remaining, 3rd quarter. Otis Anderson running left, breaks the tackle and gets into Eagle territory at the 49, but again, Wes Hopkins hits hard, and Anderson, if he didn't know before now, will know all about Wes Hopkins after this game.
Terry Steve, the left guard, watch him pull out of there. Number 68 does a good job of blocking along with Bostic, 71. You don't see Steve there. You see him in the picture, gets a good block. But he's one of the very fine guards in the National Football League. Terry Steve played his collegiate football at the University of Wisconsin, and we drafted him when I was at New Orleans. We thought he was going to be a super player, but he was traded later on in his career to the St. Louis Cardinals, and it's turned out to be a great trade for St. Louis.
He's had 5 knee operations. Hung in there and played some good balls. Stump Mitchell. 2nd down and 3. Mitchell is in for Anderson, and Stump Mitchell was looking to pitch back to Lomax. Flag down. Mitchell just trying to get away and run for his life as he is tackled at the 47-yard line. Actually didn't miss a first down by much, but there was a penalty down. Robinson and Joel Williams makes the tackle, but holding called against St. Louis.
You know, he showed a lot of ingenuity there, talking about Stump Mitchell. He was going to toss the ball back to Neil Lomax, but it didn't look like that was possible. And then he was going to throw it himself, and that wasn't possible, so he decided to take off and run.
And a good thing he didn't just toss the ball back blindly or right into the crowd.
Holding number 67, offense, second down.
Louis Sharp, the only Cuban in the National Football League, born in Havana. Best left tackle Jim Hannafin ever coached, and that's from an offensive line coach. Good compliment.
That's a very strong endorsement.
Penalty story. We have second down 13 at the 41-yard line. 2:43 to go in the third quarter. Doug Marsh goes in motion. Lomax with time has open spaces, and Neil Lomax will have a first down as he runs out of bounds to the 45-yard line. A 14-yard gain. He needed 13 yards, and the Cardinals have another first down.
Well, that's why he's murder. You know, anybody can run that well. You know, everybody on the offense is defense except one guy, and that's the quarterback. And you got everybody spread out chasing receivers. There's a lot of room to run, and he saw it quickly, made a very decisive move, and picked up 14 yards on the run. Neil Lomax, really a great play on his part.
He is really coming on with tremendous poise, and of course, one of the big things, he was always looking over his shoulder at Jim Hart's presence, even though he had won the job from Jim Hart. And of course, now that Hart's in Washington, Lomax really relaxed and took things in his own hands this year.
Yeah, it's amazing how he has grown from a mental standpoint and maturity. It's really been terrific.
At the 45-yard line, first down, Stump Mitchell with Randy Love blocking, gets tripped up at the 40-yard line. He might have had a few more yards.
And he looked like he tripped over Randy Love that time, number 40, as he was trying to make his cut. I think that's what happened on the play, and that's why he slipped to the turf.
That's precisely what happened. So Stump Mitchell, thinking of what might have been, nonetheless picks up almost 5 yards. It'll be second down at the 40-yard line and winding down to 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Cardinals looking to make it 4 in a row, and so the Eagles. But the Cardinals lead it 24-14, looking to go 6-3, and that would be a big edge if you're looking to playoffs. Lomax swings it out to Mitchell. Mitchell has the first down. Defender slips, and Mitchell gets some more yardage and gets inside the 25. Herman Edwards made the play.
Anthony Griggs that time had a chance at an open field tackle, number 58, but missed him. And of course, that's easy to do when you're trying to tackle somebody like Stump Mitchell in the open field, because he's got a lot of speed and he's very quick.
His first NFL start 2 years ago was against these Eagles, and he scored a 32-yard touchdown to break open the game. So he has fine memories of a ball game in which he gained 145 overall. First and 10 for St. Louis at the 24. In motion is Roy Green. Lomax dumps it off to Anderson, now cutting off the other way, and a good tackle by Mike Reichenbach, and tempers flare momentarily. Anderson perhaps not pleased with Reichenbach's tackle. Ball is at the 21-yard line, second down and about 7. 1:15 showing on the clock in the third quarter. Cardinals leading by 10 and driving again. They scored the first time they had the ball this quarter. And Lomax is 6 for 6 passing this period. O.J. Anderson inside the 20. Lomax hit Marsh, 24 yards for the only touchdown in this quarter.
You know, one of the key things in this game so far has been the fact that the St. Louis Cardinals have done a good job of running the ball, but more importantly, when they've thrown the ball, they've had plenty of time to throw it. The pass protection has been excellent.
That's a healthy, intact offensive line. Number 70, Art Plunkett, at the top of the huddle there, is in now at 6'7", by the way, replaces Louis Sharp, who came out of the ball game. Third down and 3 for the Cardinals on the Eagles 17. Clock running, less than a half a minute to go in the third.
We might see something with Marsh again. No, looking the other way.
Lomax to Greg LaFleur, a former Eagle, and he has the first down. He was an all-rookie performer after the Eagles let him go, and Ray Ellis makes the tackle.
The way the coverage was that time, Dick, either one of the two tight ends had to be there because they were playing soft on the tight ends.
And now they say that they're shy of a first down by about a foot as the gun sounds, ending the third quarter. So it'll be 4th and inches when we come back. And that is the end of the third quarter with the score. St. Louis 24, Philadelphia 14. We now pause for a word from your local station. Start of the fourth quarter here in Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, along with Hank Stram. This is Dick Stockton. The St. Louis Cardinals, leading 24-14, have a 4th down and inches at the Eagle 15-yard line. Randy Love and Earl Ferrell are the backs, and Stump Mitchell out of the eye. Earl Ferrell. Jim Hannafin knows. And Lomax is looking towards the sideline and saying that it may be short. I'm not sure. He signaled a foot. Now he's signaling that it is a first down.
I think it is, too. I think it's going to be very close, but I think he made it. But you never know how they're going to mark it.
We saw that before. It's very close. And the Eagles in hell by an inch, Hank. How do you like that?
Remarkable. Remarkable goal line stand, short yardage stand by the Eagles, and the Cardinals did the same thing earlier.
Isn't that amazing? Lomax was right there, and he thought he had it, and then when they measured it, he didn't, and the Eagles take over. Jim Hannafin's attempt on 4th and inches backfires. The Eagles take over, so both teams have been stymied on 4th and less than a yard.
This is the formation they use to get the big play at 90 yards earlier in the game. Let's see if they might go back to it here.
They're on the 14-yard line, the Eagles, trailing still, 24-14. Jaworski with enough time, but not forever. Swings it out to Hubie Oliver. And Oliver gets to the 22-yard line, and extra effort brings him almost to the 24. Wayne Smith makes the tackle, and it's close to a first down. The Eagles' last 5 possessions have ended up this way.
Fumble, interception, interception, punt.
And they lost the ball on a 4th down attempt.
Yep.
It'll be 2nd down and 1 here, just shy of the 24-yard line. Jaworski has thrown a 90-yard touchdown pass to Mike Quick, his career high and 3rd longest in Eagle history. Means nothing now with his team trailing 24-14. Going up on top for Mike Quick, just like before, and Quick has it. First down. 38-yard catch to the 38 of the Cardinals.
That time he licked Lionel Washington, number 48. Got the one-on-one situation that he was seeking. Took a 5-step drop. Plenty of time to throw the ball. Threw it right over the top. Outside, and Quick makes the reception. Watch him coming off the line of scrimmage. Watch Washington turn and run with him. He runs right by Washington by a little bit, and as Washington tried to look back for the ball, he lost where the ball was, and Quick was able to make the catch.
What a day for Mike Quick. 1st and 10 at the St. Louis 38-yard line. Oliver is the lone setback. A lot of time remaining, less than 2 minutes gone by in this 4th quarter. Jaworski up the middle, behind Quick, and it's dropped. But Jaworski today has thrown for 325 yards. His previous season's high was last week against the Giants, and he is threatening his career high set against the Redskins of 371.
David Galloway that time, number 65, got good pressure and was right in Jaworski's face, and that's why he was not able to throw the ball as well as he wanted to Mike Quick coming across the middle.
You know, it's amazing with Kenny Jackson out of there, and you know the Cardinals are setting their sights on Quick, how he's gotten open for 6 catches today.
Well, they've got him in single coverage a couple of times, and that makes a difference.
2nd down, 10. 24-14, Cardinals over the Eagles. Jaworski going in a crowd, and the ball is is intercepted by Wayne Smith of St. Louis. That'll be the third interception of the ball game by the Cardinals. In the first for Wayne Smith, Tony Woodruff was the intended receiver, and for Wayne Smith, his third interception of the year.
It bounces off. Look, he looks to his left to try to throw off the coverage, throws right down the numbers to Montgomery. E.J. Jr. knocks the ball up into the air, and Wayne Smith comes up with the interception.
Three of those turnovers, of the 4 turnovers, are interceptions. Wayne Smith just picked that one off.
And here we see the receiver Woodruff going down the field. Wayne Smith. The ball is tipped up into the air and intercepted by Wayne Smith, number 44.
Crowd is urging on the Eagles defense. 1st and 10 at the 5 for St. Louis following the interception. Otis Anderson is hit once and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Rich Cranack, who's seeing a lot of action at linebacker, made the hit for Philadelphia. He's in his 2nd year out of Pittsburgh.
Watch Anderson start to his right, but Clark, number 71, gets penetration. Randy Clark is trying to handle him. Anderson has to go back to his left side. And finally, Rich Cranack is able to make the tackle, number 52.
2nd down and 10 at the 5. Lomax in the end zone looking to throw. And now will run and get a few extra yards out of it and gets a 1st down. Lomax got away and he scooted down the sideline for an 11-yard pickup.
Boy, he made a great move on Ray Ellis, number 24. Ray was coming over to make the play, and he faked like he was going to throw the ball. Ellis jumped up into the air, and as he jumped up into the air, Lomax brought his arm back down and went right down the sideline and picked up the necessary yardage for the 1st down. Really a super play by Neil Lomax.
He has averaged nearly 6 yards a carry this year, and that's what he's got going today. 1st and 10 at the 17. Green and Tilley come out to the left. Wide left is Roy. Anderson. Out of bounds. Maybe a yard. Elbert Fowles coming up from the secondary. Is Anderson shaken up?
Looks like he might be. Maybe he might have a cramp, or you don't know what it is. Earl Ferrell, number 31, really made a great block on the run that time. And you always see a good picture of Jim Hannafin, deeply concerned about what's happening in this game so far.
2nd down and 8. Stump Mitchell, of course, replaces Anderson, who has gained 70 yards. Cedric Mack goes to the top of your picture. Lomax. Pass to Marsh. He's got it to the 45. He's in Eagle territory, and Hopkins drives him out of bounds at the 34-yard line, a gain of 45 yards. And once again, Hank Stram, you pointed out before, Lomax is getting terrific protection.
Yes, he is, and it looked like he licked the linebacker Jerry Robinson that time, number 56. They had a blitz on. Number 58 was blitzing on the play, Griggs. Robinson is trying to cover the tight end, does not do it, and for that reason Marsh is able to scoot down the field and take the ball down to about the plus 35. Really beautiful execution on the part of the St. Louis Cardinals. You know, I've got to say a word here too about the receivers. You know, Emmett Thomas was a great defensive back for us at Kansas City, and someday he'll be in the Hall of Fame, but he's done a super job with the receivers here in St. Louis. He used to be a defensive back, and as a result he knows a lot about receiving and has helped these receivers an awful lot.
A 47-yard pickup. Marsh, who has a touchdown reception. Now Lomax on 1st down. Fakes. He's going for Tilley wide open, and Tilley is out of bounds. Incomplete.
The key again, I can't emphasize enough what a great job the offensive line is doing. Lomax has had all the time in the world. Look at all the room on the right side. Look at the defensive back. Elbert Fowles is playing about 12 yards off the receiver. Look at Pat Tilley, breaks to the inside. The defensive back turns his knees inside. Once he does that, School is out, but the ball is thrown a little bit too far outside, and he goes out of bounds.
Keep in mind that this drive started on the 5-yard line, and the Eagles had the Cardinals in a 2nd and 10 at the 5-yard line, and a big run by Lomax for 11 yards has given them the chance to keep the ball. It is 2nd down and 10 at the 35-yard line, and here is Earl Ferrell. Puts on a good move, and Ferrell still going. Breaks a couple of tackles, and Ferrell can't be brought down until he's inside the 10 by Edwards, and a 1st down St. Louis. 27-yard pickup, and they couldn't get it.
Watch Earl Ferrell. It's a draw play. Breaks off to the left side. A good block downfield. You can't tell who it is. He gets away from one tackler. Ray Ellis, number 24, overruns the play. Then he's finally gang tackled by a lot of people. Herman Edwards, number 46 specifically, initially makes the contact. But Earl Ferrell really makes a great run, number 31.
And that 27-yard pickup is longest run from scrimmage this year. The Cardinals are going to call a timeout, use one of their 3. A lot of time remaining, 11:46, but St. Louis leading 24-14 wants to make sure they get in here. Their 1st and goal at the 9.
Time interception leader for us at Kansas City with 58. And then, of course, down the road a little way is Tommy Bettis, who was the defensive coordinator for us at Kansas City, and also Rod Downauer. You don't see him in the picture, but he does a super job from an offensive coordination standpoint.
He was from the Bill Walsh School, and of course has had a lot to do with the quick development of Neil Lomax. 1st and goal at the 9 for St. Louis. Trying to break it open, leading 24-14. Here is Stump Mitchell. Jerry Robinson got a hold of him. He's not in the end zone, although he tried like heck to get in there, but is inside the 5.
I don't know how he squirted through that pile and almost got through the other end, but he came very, very close. And the ball's right now on about the 1-yard line. Great run, really, by Stump Mitchell.
He has already scored a touchdown today, his 7th rushing of the season. That's pretty good for a guy who fills in.
Well, we touched on it earlier, but he could be a regular for anybody in the league, really. There's a good shot of it again. Bostic, the right guard, pulling on the play. He's stuck on the outside, decides to go inside, look at him fight for that yardage. Look at him drag 2 tacklers with him, one of whom was Jerry Robinson.
How many people drag Jerry Robinson? 2nd down and goal, and here is Randy Love. No signal yet. And he did not make it. So it'll be 3rd and goal, and you can't get any closer to the goal line. 3rd down and goal. Lomax looking inside of the huddle. They're going to place it right next to that goal line. And now the Cardinals, there's an injured player down, an injured Eagle. Keep in mind the drive started from the 5-yard line, and this could wind up to be a 95-yard drive. But the Cardinals first have to get in. Jerry Robinson, who had been playing with a slight shoulder separation the last 2 games and only been playing in nickels until this game, has been down and coming back. Let's see that last play, Hank.
See it again.
Hard to see the injury, but it's easy to see where Love was stopped.
Yeah, you can't tell very clearly what happened on the play.
So the Cardinals, their best record since 1977. Jim Hanovan trying to lead them to their 6th win in 9 starts. And the Cardinals, if they win, can do no worse than end up in a share for the lead with Dallas or Washington. 3rd down and goal at the 1. Mitchell and Love on the backs. Ferrell on the wing. Here is Stump Mitchell, and he is in for the touchdown. His 2nd of the game, number 8 on the year. And Hanovan's got to be breathing easier now. 10:28 to go, a lot of time, but now it is a 30-14 ball game.
This is the kind of game you really worry about, talking about St. Louis, because you won 3 big games against name people with good records, and all of a sudden you're afraid maybe that you're going to have a letdown. But I think it's a great credit to the coaching staff of the St. Louis Cardinals that they haven't had a letdown, and they played very, very well here this afternoon. Very intelligent game plan, very good approach, and they executed it extremely well.
O'Donohue with Benny Perrin holding. And Neil O'Donohue's kick is good, and so the St. Louis Cardinals score. And how do they feel up in the booth next to us? Messrs. Thomas, Dowhauer, Bettis, and closest to you, Larry Wilson. Here's what happened when Mitchell went over for the touchdown. Yeah, sit back, guys. You've got a 31-14 lead, 24 unanswered points. 9 plays, and Stump Mitchell with his second score of the game, his 8th touchdown of the season, and it's 31-14. The Cardinals are in front. O'Donohue kicking off. Waters, no, now it's Cooper at the goal line. Cooper gets by Kay, and Randy Love chases him out of bounds. Penalty flag down. Late hit by Bob Harris. Maybe the call. Jerry Markbright will explain.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 55, kicking team, first down.
So the penalty, and they mark off 15 more yards. Well, tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote, The Jeffersons, then Alice, and capped by Trapper John M.D. All tonight coming up on CBS. 1st and 10 for the Eagles with 10:16 to go on the 33-yard line. Trailing 31-14. Jaworski's got to go up on top, I guess, and not waste much time.
You know, they haven't come back to that play where they ran for 90 yards on a touchdown. They got the slot formation here. Same situation, but they got Perrin over here trying to help out. I'm sure if he does that.
Jaworski is sacked. Curtis Greer, number 4 of the game for the St. Louis Cardinals, who, by the way, led the league with 59 last year. They had only 20 coming into this game, but it looks like they're picking up their sack production lately.
Yeah, they are. And Randy Holloway got some pretty good penetration that time, too, number 74, who they just got from the Minnesota Vikings. Look at this. Pittsburgh 28, Atlanta 3 in the 4th quarter. And Cleveland 14-10 over New Orleans in the 4th quarter.
Marty Schottenheimer's first game as head coach of the Browns. Kenny Stabler retired the other day. We have more scores for you. 2nd down and 21 after that 11-yard loss. Under 10 minutes to go. Jaworski. Incomplete. He was going for Hubie Oliver, and defending on the play was E.J. Jr. So, Hank, with 9:40 to go, as we look at other scores, the Cardinals with 31 points have exceeded their season's average. So they maintain that high scoring visibility.
And look at this. Kansas City 14-13 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 4th quarter. Must be a good game. The Jets continue with their winning ways, 20-16 in the 4th quarter.
Tough game for New England. New coach Ray Berry. Lynn Dickey, 4 touchdown passes.
38-9 over Detroit in the 4th quarter. But they're capable of scoring a lot of points with those receivers, Lofton and Jefferson. And, of course, Dickey is an excellent quarterback. Look at the Jets again, 20-16 over New England.
In case you didn't believe it the first time.
That's right. You get another shot. Look at Chicago, 16 zip over Minnesota.
Bears defense has been outstanding. You know, coming into this ball game, only 2 teams had given up fewer points than the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC. One of them, the Bears, the other team, the Rams. Dallas, Danny White, 2 touchdown passes returning to the starting lineup.
And I said a week or so ago, I think the Dallas Cowboys will recapture the rhythm and the sync that they haven't had with Danny White at the quarterback position.
David Galloway coming off. You remember the first time we talked to Tom Landry when we were there for the Eagle game. He said, you know, by the 8th game of the year, I'll have my quarterback situation set up. It may not be Hogaboom, and as it's turned out, it isn't. And he got it worked out by about this time.
Yeah, that's what he said. And you know, after that New Orleans games last week, why he had to make a decision and made it in favor of Danny White.
3rd down and 21. Jaworski rolling out and looking. Pressure by Stafford Mays. Down the sideline, out of bounds. Montgomery and Hoover were there, and really nothing going on. That play kind of fizzled.
I think anytime that you roll and you take that long to throw the football, everybody on the defense is over there waiting for the ball along with your receivers, and you really have to be a magician to get the ball in there with all that traffic.
4th down, Mike Horan. Kicking for the 3rd time and stumped Mitchell. 4th in the NFC coming into the ball game. Good kick by Horan. Sends Mitchell back. Now here comes Stump. And he goes out of bounds. So the Cardinals have it at the 32-yard line. That was a 53-yard punt by Horan. The Cardinals in front 31-14. 9:17 on the clock.
Go!
After the return by Mitchell, there was a flag down, and illegal substitution was called against the Philadelphia Eagles. So now Horan will have to punt, and the Eagles, the Cardinals, could get a real good field position. Mitchell is at the 45-yard line, his own 45, and Horan will have to punt from inside the 10.
You know, Horan's been a very impressive kicker. He came into the game with 41.6 average, but he's got a great leg, hasn't he?
53-yarder and the one just now before the flag. Cardinals peel back. Good high kick by Horan. Another good one. And Mitchell at the 32-yard line. Reggie Wilkes makes the play. And good field position for St. Louis at the 44. That was, again, a 53-yard punt. So Horan kicks 2 in a row at 53. Only one of them will go into the books. But the Cardinals are in front 31-14. They were trailing 14-7. O'Donoghue kicked a field goal to narrow the lead, and then on a fumble by Montgomery, Lomax hit Tilley with an 8-yard touchdown pass, and that started it, gave the Cardinals the lead that they haven't relinquished. And speaking about the NFC East, the Washington Redskins, one of 3 teams tied for first, 5-3, will go against the Giants at 4-4 coming up next. Dallas is winning big. St. Louis in control here. It'll be the Redskins and Giants coming up next on CBS for many of you. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Pat Tilley goes in motion. Randy Love carrying and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Well, for an NFL Today report, here is Brent Musburger.
Dick, the Minnesota Vikings have averted a shutout for the first time since 1980. Now, the Chicago Bears are going to win this game. And the importance here is that the Bears appear to be headed toward a 3-game lead in the NFC Central. They're still ahead 16-7. Let's go back to Dick.
The Bears, Brent, would be 6-3 to take over the lead, and the Cardinals would also be 6-3 if they maintain their lead. Here is O.J. Anderson, who's hit by Greg Brown, gets a couple of yards, and now the Cardinals content to use up a lot of that clock with a comfortable lead. So, again, we want to tell you the Redskins at 5-3 against the Giants at 4-4. That's at Giants Stadium in the Meadowlands, and the Giants are trying to avenge that earlier setback this year.
And the Redskins, though, do not like to play on synthetic turf, but that's where they're going to play. And with the injuries they've had, why, they have to rebound and play very, very well to beat the Giants here in New York this afternoon.
And if Phil Simms puts the ball in the air, the Redskins' pass defense, people like Monty Coleman will come into play, and some of their great defensive backs like Darrell Green and Vernon Dean could be a factor. Now, the San Francisco 49ers, with their exciting offense, Joe Montana and company, go against the L.A. Rams, who have come on strong lately.
And Montana is always, you know, he's had a great year along with Wendell Tyler. Boy, he's been added a dimension to their attack that's very, very important from a running standpoint and also from a pass receiving standpoint.
So the Rams will try to narrow the 49er lead in the NFC West to 1 game coming up on CBS Sports. Now, Greg Brown of the Eagles, the defensive right end, is shaken up and is still on the ground. Marion Campbell looking on.
And Fred Bruni, the defensive coordinator, is over at his side to his right. And Fred was a great player at Ohio State and played professional football and does a terrific job with the defensive backs. Look at this. Pittsburgh 34 and Atlanta 3 in the fourth quarter.
Steelers coming on strong. Cleveland lead is now cut to 1, 14-13 over the New Orleans Saints in the fourth quarter. Kansas City leading Tampa Bay, and they now are up by 8, 21-13 in the fourth quarter of that ball game. And New England now has taken the lead over the New York Jets 23-20 with Ray Berry in his first game as head coach, and Dallas comfortably in front of the Colts. Tony Eason to Stephen Starring put the Patriots in front. Third down and 5 at midfield for St. Louis. Under 8 minutes to play. 7:55 and running. Lomax. Brown, by the way, stayed in the game. Willard Harrell on the reception is shy of a first down. Herman Edwards makes the tackle with Evan Cooper. It'll be fourth down, and Carl Birdsong will come in and kick.
Overall, we've talked about this, but overall, the pass protection, really, the pass protection of the St. Louis Cardinals has really been outstanding. And I think you have to give an awful lot of credit to Louis Sharp and Terry Steve, Randy Clark, Bostic, and Robbins, and also Art Plunkett, who came in the game also. They've really done a super job this afternoon.
They sure have. That offensive line, and when you got the depth, as Plunkett has done today with Sharp, you know you're in solid position. They've got a guy, Doug Dawson, a second-round pick out of Texas, who hasn't played much.
And it's a good, secure feeling for a quarterback to know that every time he goes back into the pocket, he doesn't have to worry about running around back there trying to escape a would-be rusher, because the line blocking is doing the linemen are doing an excellent job.
They gave up 59 sacks, tops in the league last year, Hank, and now they've given up 21, so they have improved in the pass protecting department tremendously in this season. Well, next Sunday, the NFL Today, Randy White, the best in the game. That's a good story this year, Hank.
It really is, and of course, you kind of wonder about that because he missed all of the training camp, and playing as well as he has and making as much money as he made for staying out. I think a lot of players are going to question whether they have to go to training camp or not.
Yeah, he didn't set a good example for those people that say get in here and get in here early. That's next week on the NFL Today. First down and 10 for the Eagles at the 23. 6:50 on the clock. Jaworski under pressure to Wilbert Montgomery. Breaks a tackle. First down to the 35-yard line, where Benny Perrin stands him upright. A gain of 12 on the play, and the first down for Philadelphia. Limping, pulling up lame is Montgomery, who has 3 receptions, and he comes out of the game.
Yeah, it looks like he might have pulled a muscle in the back of his leg. We talked to him yesterday about his physical condition. He said he really feels great, and the knee injury has not been any kind of a problem whatsoever.
Jaworski, not a good throw, but a good catch, though, by Michael Haddock at the 38-yard line. Gain of a couple. Wayne Smith the tackle. 6 minutes to go.
I like to see this. They're going into their 2-minute offense with 5:55 left in the game. But that's a good move. If they're going to get back in the game, they better do it as quickly as they possibly can. They're surely not going to do it running their standard formations.
Jaworski gets hit, but gets rid of the ball, and it's knocked away. 2 Cardinals were there. It was intended for Hoover. Jeff Griffin and Wayne Smith were there.
Stafford Mays again, number 76, got good penetration.
Wayne Smith might have been shaken up a bit. He's walking, but gingerly. And Bill Kay, former Houston Oiler, will replace him. Smith has had a good game. He has an interception in the fourth quarter of the ball game. Benny Perrin and Lionel Washington also have picked one off for the Cardinals today. Wilbert Montgomery has a pulled hamstring, and he may not be back in this one. 185. 3rd and 7 for the Eagles on their own 38. Holloway trying to get inside. They dump it off. No one near the intended receiver, Michael Williams.
You know what I think what happened that time? I don't think he saw the ball coming. He went between the linemen, and it came out of his hand like a pitching machine. You know, all of a sudden you see it leave, and all of a sudden where'd it go? And all of a sudden, bang, there it is. And I think that's what happened. That's why he never saw the ball, and that's why he missed it.
Cardinals looking to make it 4 straight for the first time in 3 years. Jim Hanifin has made progress. It's been slow but steady each year, and He could have something really big now. 4th and 7, and the Eagles, of course, no choice but to go for it on 4th down. They need 7 yards. They have to get to the 45. Jaworski going up the middle. Again, intended for Williams, who can't hold on to it. Griffin defending on the play, and the Cardinals will take over in Philadelphia territory, taking over on downs.
You know, Williams that time ran too far with his arms outstretched. Didn't wait until the last second to come up and make the catch, and I think that's why he missed the ball on the last pass. He should have had it.
So the Cardinals will take over, 1st and 10 on the 38-yard line. Want to talk about big plays in this game. Ron Jaworski's 90-yard strike to Mike Quick was the most spectacular. But when the Cardinals took advantage of a turnover and Lomax hit Tilley to take the lead for the first time in the ball game, it's been all St. Louis. And then, of course, the Eagles had 1st and goal at the 6 seconds before the half, and Perrin intercepted a Jaworski pass. Good game for Lomax. Look at those numbers. 1st and 10, Randy Love. Behind the line of scrimmage, Joel Williams, the play.
You don't think they'll try to run the ball here, do you?
No, I think they want to go up on top and accidentally. You know, I was going to say, the way the game was going, Hank, that the Eagles had last year scored only 18 points in 2 games against St. Louis, and if they had scored another touchdown, of course, they would have exceeded that, but they got stalled at 14 early on when they had that 14-7 lead.
Really, they were never the same after that interception right before the half when Benny Perrin came up to make the play on Mike Quick.
Right. Swing pass as good as the run out to Otis Anderson, and Anderson's going to get a 1st down and more. To the 25-yard line, Herman Edwards makes the tackle. Anderson has had a good all-around game today.
Yeah, he really has. And, of course, the other thing is so important. I think Neil Lomax has thrown the ball so well to the back. So he has to throw the ball about number high and about 1.5 yards out in front. So the back doesn't have to change stride or direction. Just catches it right on the run, runs right into the ball, and continues on his course downfield. That ball was just thrown perfectly. You couldn't lay it on a shelf any better than that. And this is what Lomax has been doing so well, throwing the ball to the backs in this game.
Lomax came into the game 2nd in NFC passing to Joe Montana, who you'll see. Those of you will be watching the Rams and the 49ers coming up next on CBS. Anderson tried to deke. He was stopping, then he turned it on as he stopped at the 24 by Greg Brown. Anderson today has 18 carries for 75 yards and has also caught 7 passes.
That's a good day's work.
And maybe it's time for a breather for him as Stump Mitchell. I don't know if it's a breather for the Eagles, and maybe a breather for Anderson. Stump Mitchell replaces him. All he's done is score 2 touchdowns.
And all he is, you know, he just loves to come in anytime he's got a chance to play. He's a very aggressive little guy that loves to play, loves to run, and a terrific competitor. 2nd down and 11. 4 minutes to go. Greg LaFleur, the tight end, moving. Here's Mitchell. Hemmed in. Greg Brown dropped along with Jody Schultz. 3:50 showing on the clock, and a timeout called for by the Eagles. They have 2 remaining, and they're trailing 31-14. But there's plenty more action today on CBS. It's a doubleheader week, and that means many of you will see one of 2 games. Either the 49ers and the Rams coming up, or the Giants and the Washington Redskins. One is an NFC West battle, the other an AFC East fight, and that's the game that many of you will see coming up next. And that should be a good one because the Washington Redskins lost last week to the St. Louis Cardinals, and they'll be chomping at the bit trying to get back in the winning column along with the New York Giants, who are 4-4.
Dallas on their way to a win. They would be 6-3 if they go on to win. The Cardinals would also be 6-3. Some of you will see the Rams and 49ers, and the Redskins would need a win to stay in a 3-way tie, and the Giants could move up with a victory. So that's what's at stake in the NFC East battle. 49ers and Rams, it's all right there. Rams trying to narrow San Francisco's lead in the West. Hank, would it be fair to ask you at this point, having seen the Cardinals and on their way to a 6-3 record, is how far do you think they can go the rest of the way?
Well, I think if they can stay healthy, I think that's the key. If they can stay healthy and play like they're playing, and I think they will, I think they've got as much of a chance to win it as anybody in the division. because they're well balanced, they're playing well defensively, they're throwing the ball, they're running the ball, they're capable of big plays. They've got it all. If they just continue to play like they are, and I think they've got a great attitude, and that's the important thing. Talking to the players yesterday, talking to Neil Lomax, and talking to the coaches and Hannafin, everybody, I think they got their feet in the fire, and they understand what they have to do. They understand they've got a great opportunity, and I think they're going to do everything they possibly can to maintain the good position they're in right now.
That was an incomplete pass, and of course, O'Donohue is in now to try for a field goal. The Cardinals, you mentioned at the outset, Hank, they have not only beaten 3 teams, they have beaten 3 strong ball clubs in the Cowboys, the Bears, and the Redskins. Trying to make it over the Eagles now. A 42-yard field goal attempt by O'Donohue. He's kicked 5 from 44 or more this year. Movement in the line and a flag down. Neil O'Donohue, who has been successful on a 28-yard field goal today. Here's Mark Bright, the referee.
False start. Offense. 4th down again.
I think the other thing that's very impressive about St. Louis, I think if you're not careful, you know, when you win 3 big games like they have, why, if you're not careful, especially with a young team, you have a tendency to kind of walk the dog a little bit and think it's going to be easy, and you don't maintain that same high level of intensity and enthusiasm. You think it's going to be easy the next week, but they didn't do that.
No.
That's a great sign of maturity and development, and that's going to be a big factor as they go along.
You're right. That was one of the concerns the Cardinal people had. This is a 47-yard attempt, and the kick is up. It is good. So, as you pointed out, Neil O'Donoghue has had seemingly greater success from the longer distances than the closer ones. And this is his 6th field goal of the year from beyond 44 yards. A 47-yard field goal, and it's now 34-14 in favor of St. Louis. I don't think O'Donoghue could face any tougher pressure than he did in the game last week.
I had a chance to talk to him a little bit before the game, just visit with him in general, and he's a delightful guy, and very obviously he's got great confidence in his own ability, and he's demonstrated that again here this afternoon. He's got a strong leg, and that time he really thumped the ball very well and followed through much better.
He'll be kicking off to the Eagles. Whatever happens the rest of the day and action involving NFC East teams, the one thing the Cardinals will know as Cooper goes back to receive the kickoff is that they are still the only undefeated team in the NFC East.
Yeah, the only thing that's really important, you can't worry about anybody else. You just got to take care of yourself, and that's win the game. Win the game, and then whatever else happens will happen, but win the game, because that's the most important thing.
But when you have those 0 losses in the division and everyone else has a loss, that's going to help you somewhere down the line.
It certainly is going to be a big plus.
O'Donoghue kicking off. Most of the fans have departed. End over end taken by Cooper at the 15-yard line, and he breaks one outside. O'Donoghue and Pittman may have the best shot at him, and it's Neil O'Donoghue, the kicker, who rides him out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Evan Cooper. That's one thing the Eagles haven't gotten good returns from kickoffs or punts this year, but this was a 47-yard return by Cooper.
Evan Cooper starts to his right, and then he sees some openings on the left side. He takes advantage of it, changes the ball to his left hand to keep it away from the pressure. Watch O'Donoghue, number 11, long stride. It doesn't look like he's going to make the catch, but he does. He catches him and tries to scrape the ball loose in the process, but he's out of bounds. A good play by Neil O'Donoghue.
So the Eagles 1st and 10 at the Cardinal 38 with 3:26 showing on the clock, down by 20 points. They need 3 touchdowns to win the ball game. Jaworski can't get away. Back to midfield. That's the 5th sack of the game by the St. Louis defense.
That's really been the big difference. I think Jaworski has had a lot of pressure put on him. On the other hand, conversely, why Neil Lomax hasn't. But of course, at this stage of the game, you know, you're going to get a severe rush because they got nothing to worry about except the pass, and you can expect some sacks at this stage of the game with 3 minutes and 19 seconds left.
The firm of Galloway and Holloway made that play. 2nd down and 20.
You better tell them about that connection. They'll have to go in business.
That's right. Well, Randy just came aboard. He likes the club. Under 3 minutes to play. Jaworski will go down for a 6th time. Curtis Greer and Randy Holloway. And even Ramsey Darter. Everyone's getting in the act for the Cardinals today. And Jaworski shaken up momentarily. Can't be a guy that has taken more shots in his career. Never the most mobile quarterback, but certainly one of the bravest, and never always having the great offensive line in front of him.
Now, you talk about a guy with a big Valentine. He's got one.
He has thrown for 340 yards today, which says a lot. This is his season's best, and he's going to go out replaced by Joe Pisarcik. He's been in 2 games this year. When Jaworski got hurt against the Colts, when he injured his ribs, Pisarcik came in, completed 8 of 14 for 75 yards. So Pisarcik, the former Giant, is in there.
And Pisarcik's got a strong arm, but he doesn't move very well. This is going to be a tough position for him to be in with a rush like it is.
3rd and 28. There's the strong arm. Hoover, the intended receiver, and Lionel Washington was closest to the ball and looking for his 2nd interception of the game. It's 4th down. That's how much time remains. How about the total offense this half, if you want to talk about a game that was close at halftime?
Yeah, isn't that amazing? St. Louis 262, Philadelphia 85. Boy, what a difference.
Came in with that strong offensive attack, but with 6 sacks, the Cardinals did something on the other side of the ball as well.
Yeah, you really have to give the Cardinals a lot of credit for the way they played last week, and of course the way they play this week, and to stop the Redskins from a running standpoint like they did last week was really a great achievement.
4th down and 28 yards. And they got a lot of people back playing center field, St. Louis does. They put it up for grabs into a crowd. Incomplete, and the Cardinals will take over on downs with 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go.
You know, fans see that play with 3 receivers on the outside, and they throw the ball up. It looks like it's up for grabs. And what they really try to do on that play, Dick, they try to get the ball downfield. The one guy's going to try to make the catch. The other 2 guys are going to try to watch for the ricochet, and we'll try to come up with the interception. Look at this, New Orleans 16-14 over Cleveland. Final.
Troubles continue for the Browns, but the Saints win a game. Cincinnati over Houston by a big margin today.
Chicago 16-7 over the Minnesota Vikings.
They're 6-3 with a 3-game lead in the NFC Central.
Dallas, a big win for them, 22-3 over the Indianapolis Colts.
So they go 6-3. So the Cardinals and the Cowboys are 6-3. Will the Redskins go to 6-3? They play the Giants next on CBS. Willard Harrell carrying as we're winding down to the 2-minute warning. And that's what's coming up. 2-minute warning right here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Smiles on the Cardinal bench with Jim Hannafin and company. No need to put the headset on anymore.
You see Dick Jamieson there, too. He was one of the first quarterbacks on our team way back in 1960. He was an understudy to Johnny Unitas and was a very good quarterback.
Speaking of understudies, Rick McIver, a rookie from the University of Texas, has replaced Neil Lomax, who had a brilliant afternoon. Hit immediately in line of scrimmage is Randy Love, and for an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger.
Trailing by a point, the New Orleans Saints, with time running out, have a chance to beat Cleveland, and Morton Anderson's 53-yard field goal is good, and the Saints beat Cleveland and its new coach Marty Schottenheimer 16-14. Back to Dick.
There's another kicker with a strong leg, Brent. Morton Anderson. We've seen O'Donohue here. Rick McIver, 0 for 4 so far this year in brief action. He's 6'4", 210 pounds. He's got a strong arm. Replaces Jim Hart as the backup, and Rusty Lish. Willard Harrell carrying the ball with 1:13 to go. Lomax finished the day with 20 completions in 26 attempts, Hank Stram, 286 yards.
That's a little bit what they wanted to do. They thought if they could have the ball, run the ball 45 times and throw it 20 times or 25 times, it'd be perfect blend, and that's about as close as you can come.
2 touchdown passes to Pat Tilley to put him in front following a turnover before the half, and to Doug Marsh, the tight end, in the third quarter. And it's 4th down, and Birdsong will be in to kick. 4th and 8, 40 seconds to play. Lomax now with 17 touchdown passes. He threw 1 interception today, his 6th of the year. 26 seconds remain. Cooper, a good return the last time. Convincing victory for the St. Louis Cardinals. They're going to let that ball drop. It'll be touched by Cardinal John Good. With 9 seconds to go, the clock stops, and we should get one more playoff.
One more. Nice job. Super. Nice doing it. Nice job.
9 seconds to go, so the Philadelphia Eagles will go to 4-5 on the year, Hank, and the Cardinals win 4 straight for the first time in 3 years. It look awfully impressive.
And they have to feel good about this game because it was a critical game, especially after winning like they had.
Executive producer of NFL football, Terry O'Neill. Senior producer, Charles H. Milton III. Our game produced here in Philadelphia by John Ferrazis, directed by Andy Kindle. Mike Albanese, our associate producer. Vic Frank, our broadcast associate. Thanks to everyone, including our spotter, Marty Aronoff, and our statistician, Pat McGrath. So Pisarcik is the quarterback. And his pass is incomplete, and we will have another play with 4 seconds remaining. Michael Haddock was the intended receiver. The Eagles have their 3-game winning streak snapped. They'll go 4-5. And St. Louis will be 6-3. The Dallas Cowboys are 6-3. In a couple of weeks, the Cardinals and the Cowboys will tangle again. St. Louis won the previous meeting. Next weekend, the Cardinals will go against the Los Angeles Rams in St. Louis, Hank, and we'll be there.
Well, you talk about a taffy pull in that division. It's really one, isn't it?
Sure is. And Redskins and Giants coming up next for some of you. Rams and 49ers for others. Haddock has the ball, and that'll do it. The ball game is over. And the Cardinals have defeated the Eagles 34-14, getting 6 sacks and doing a lot on offense. Coming up, it'll be the Redskins or the Giants, another NFC East battle, or the 49ers, trying to hold off the on-charging Los Angeles Rams. For Hank Stram, this is Dick Stockton saying goodbye from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. The final score, St. Louis 34, Philadelphia 14. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this word from your local station.
Our great compliments to our passing game, and our tight ends play awfully a big part of our passing game. Doug Marsh caught up some big balls today, and we're controlling that football, Dick. You know, we're going to win football games, and we still got the